Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back for Fate of Ataraxia. Today we will be recording the second episode of the game. So, first episode was interesting. There's a lot that went on. Some of it went over my head, and I've thought about it a little more. And I think it makes a tiny bit more sense, but not by much. Not by much, to be honest. Again, I think there's a lot of things that I'm not really supposed to understand yet, of course, regarding specifically Bazette. How do you say that? Is it like Bazette or Buzzette? I don't know. I will probably say them interchangeably, or I'll pick one. I don't know. I really don't know. Point is, it is very conclusive that that is the Fifth Holy Grail War. Does it line up with what we know of that war? Of course not. Not even close. Not in the slightest. Right? But it is unequivocally, without a doubt, the Fifth Holy Grail War, because literally, Bazette says the last Holy Grail War, which was the fourth one. Something along those lines. I don't have the exact quote, but I looked at it and I'm like, oh, no, there is no doubt. This is the Fifth Holy Grail War. Right? But it's just obviously so different in a way that I don't understand. I mean, really, that's the big thing. That's interesting, because now the question is, how is this the Fifth Holy Grail War? Right? We understand that it is, but how? Right? What is going to happen? And I'm curious. So we're going to go ahead and jump right back into things. Not that we're picking up right from there. We were in Shiro's shed. But I assume it will come back up at some point, potentially this episode. We'll go back to that, so we'll see. Also, I guess one other thing. I am doing my best to catch up rewatching Fate's Stay Night. But that's a long game, so I'm trying to... I watched 4 episodes in the last few days, so we're getting there. But like I said, I think I know most of the high level stuff, but a lot of the details might go over my head right now. So let's just go ahead and jump right back into this, see what we can figure out. What is the story of Shiro and everyone we already knew, and in this time after the Holy Grail War, right? What's going on with them, and then maybe we'll get to see Bazette again, right? See what's going on there. So let's jump in. We're back in the shed. I had such a dream. It still isn't 6 a.m. when I wake up. The light filtering through the window is somewhat strong, and the air coming between the panels seems somewhat cold. The summer heat is over. I remember it's already October. It's not the season where it's uncomfortable to sleep without a blanket. Oh, I guess fate's not allowed to happen except for when it's, cold outside. Just between Stay Night and now Hollow Ataraxia being in winter, or at best autumn months, I spur my not quite awake brain to action. Last night, I think I did maintenance on bicycle number 1, changed the chain on bicycle number 2, and then drifted off to sleep with nothing better to do. I'm kind of curious. I mean, obviously, last we saw was them at the temple with the scary stories. Why are we not there anymore, right? Was there a time jump? Because I thought for some reason in my head it was 6 months after the event of the Holy Grail War. Right, which would have placed this firmly in the summer months. Oh, that also does remind me, something that kind of popped to my head is that it's actually not... I remember being a little confused as to him not showing any shock at the presence of Castor, but given that in the Heavens Feel ending, Ryder is just there, right? I guess it's not that crazy to say that some people can just keep their servants after the Holy Grail War ends, so... maybe he'd seen Castor before, right? And it's not some crazy twist that she's reappeared. Or I don't know, maybe that was a flash forward the whole time. But like I said, I thought it was 6 months, so I don't really think that makes sense. I don't remember the exact amount of time they said was between stay night and that event. But I am kind of confused as to why we're here in the shed and not there. Maybe just it skipped a few days. In that case, I guess why did it show that? Was it to show that Castor was here? I don't know. Sorry, it's probably not that important. I'm just curious. So let's move on for now.
さすがに地べたで寝るときついな。もうじき冬だし、布団一式へ運んでおかないと。
You're a fool. I roll my shoulder and breathe. The breakfast in the Emiya household begins at 6:30. There's still plenty of time until then, but only if you aren't the one cooking. I have to get up at least 30 minutes before breakfast to have enough time to make it.
さくらのやつ。最近飯作り終わってから起こしに来るんだもんな。まったく。いつから人の趣味を面白おかしく奪うような性格になったんだろ。
She said, that's my job, not yours. You must not like your cooking, bro. It can only be her sister's influence. Anyway, it means I have to get up before 6 if I want to make breakfast myself. As the man of the house, no, as her cooking instructor, I can't let my pupil get ahead of me. Bro's got that sense of competition. As soon as I go into the hallway, I smell breakfast. I also hear the studied, rhythmic chopping of a kitchen knife. It looks like breakfast is already 80% complete. Too late. It's a pleasant morning and a typical scene. I decide to roll with it. Okay, Saber's still here.
おはようございます、シロ。今朝は少し寝坊ですか?
So Saber's still here. So I assume that must be why, like, I'm assuming maybe some of the servants just stuck around then, right? I mean, I'm not upset at that. I'm curious to see the explanation as to how exactly that happens, but it's nice to have them around, you know? I see her smile.
シロ、どうしたのです？黙りこくって。私の顔に何か?
Half a year ago, something like this happened. Oh, when the weather was still cold.
顔色が優れませんね。まったく。また土蔵で用を明かしたのですか?
Come on, by now you should already know how this goes.
シロ、鍛錬を欠かさぬ心構えは立派ですが、それで体を壊しては半人前だ。
Yeah, I'm still a rookie after all. It's been half a year since the Holy Grail War. People don't grow up that easily.
聞いているのですか、シロ? いいですか? リンに留守を任されている以上、
Good luck.
私にはあなたを監督する義務がある。
Man, good luck.
不節制が続くようでは、私にも考えがあります。
That's right. Tosaka isn't here, so Saber's in charge of maintaining discipline in our house. Anyway.
セイバーの考えってどんな?
Yeah, I'd love to hear him.
シロが一番苦手なことを。いくら言っても守らないのですから、監督として身近で指導をするしかない。シロが悔い改めないというのなら、今日からでも部屋をシロの隣に移しましょう。
She utters a terrifying suggestion with a smile. She's learned how to push his buttons in these months. Saber sleeps in the guest house's Japanese-style room. Back when I asked her to move out of the room next to mine.
お断りします。住居を変える理由がありません。
She was pretty stubborn about it. In the end, I convinced her that a bodyguard wasn't necessary now that the war was over. That happened a little while ago. Since then, I recovered the composure every healthy young man should have.
反省した。明日からきちんと自分の部屋で寝る。
結構です。まあ、この条件が効果てきめんというのは、私としては複雑ですが。
No.
これもシロの健康のため。
You're doing the right thing here, Saber. Someone needs to iron out some healthy habits into Shiro. Now that we're not in a situation that forces unhealthy habits, you know?
身近で警護できないのが不安ではありますが、 シロが安眠できないのでは仕方がない。
Saber heads off to the living room. It's only natural. Who would feel yearning for a typical morning conversation? But I forgot to greet her. I need to make sure to do that here.
セイバー、おはよう。今日も一日よろしくな。
It really is funny. Like, I'm rewatching the Fate route right now, and even there, it's like, it's so important to him that he says good morning, right? Like, to people, and especially Saber.
はい。シロも気をつけて。
So it's cool to see that already come back. I go to the living room with Saber. For some reason, my vision feels foggy, and I rub my eyes. My eyes are a little wet. It's a pleasant, typical morning I've seen countless times. I must be so happy that I yawned.
いただきます。
Everyone claps their hands, not quite in unison. The table is set with grilled fish breakfast for 6.
はい、そんなわけで、今朝はさくらが早起きして作ってくれま
For
した。
6. Goodness
みんな、
gracious.
特にそこのぐうたら人間はさくらに感謝しつつ、よく噛んで食べるように。
For 6. I mean, who are we working with here? Shiro, Saber, Ryder, Sakura, Fujini. Who's the 6th? I'm actually confused as to who the 6th is. Because they said it's not Tasaka, right? Or is she, like, coming for breakfast? Am I just an idiot and I'm missing someone? 2 people nod at me seriously. Yeah, I figured Ryder was one of them. I'm not talking to you, but to Team Fujimura trying to trade their boiled spinach for the simmered chicken.
あ、また納豆がある。
My goat. I was actually, while I was rewatching the videos, right? I actually should have guessed this because of her staying at the household in the Fate route. But actually, as I was rewatching my Fate route videos, I was actually really curious, like, because I'm just at the point where we're starting to really get introduced to Ilya, like, not like the Berserker introduction, but like in the park when you're getting introduced to her, right? And I was like, it made me wonder. I was like, is she gonna be in the game? Like, I don't see why she wouldn't be, but like, you know, I was like, I hope she is, right? Because I like Ilya a lot. She's definitely firmly in my top 5. I mean, I've got like I don't know if anyone remembers my character preferences, but I feel like I had like a big 4, if that makes sense, right? Like, that were easily my favorites in the game, and then it's like kind of tier break. There's one character that's like right there that I can't decide. But anyways, for me, my favorites are Rin, Shiro, but Archer, and then Ilya, right? And then Sakura and Saber are like right there fighting for 5 and 6, and I feel like you could definitely argue either of them into that like big 4 tier. I think Sakura is maybe a little more likely, but I like Saber a lot too, so I don't know. But I think Saber's probably my least favorite of those like main characters. But point is, that's my big 4, right? And I'm like, obviously we've already seen Chiro, we've already seen Rin. If we're seeing the servants, we're surely gonna see Archer, right? So that left Ilya, right? And I'm like, I don't see why she wouldn't be here, but it's good to know that she is. And it's cool to see her in the household, honestly.
私のはいらないって言ってるのに、さくらも懲りないんだから。タイガー、納豆食べるでしょ？卵焼きと交換して。
いいけど、まだ納豆苦手なの？食べず嫌いはダメよ。と言いつつ、卵半分ならうなずくお姉ちゃんであった。
Trading without leverage, that's how it goes.
納豆とご飯の良さがわからないとは、まだまだひよっこね。
半分か。いいわ。そのレートで交換してあげる。
Sometimes you gotta make do when you don't have any trade leverage.
どうせこんなに食べきれないものは、そうやって知らないうちにさくらの関係に引っかかってなさい。
10日交換成立。卵半分でイリアちゃんの納豆ゲットだぜ。あとさくらちゃんの関係ってなんだ？
大丈夫。ご心配には及びません。カロリー計算はちゃんとやってますから、 よく噛んでちゃんと運動すれば余分なお肉なんてつきません。
She's really careful with this.
ね、そうですよね、セイバーさん。さくらの言う通りです。体格が違うので断言はできませんが、タイガだけ体重が増すということはないでしょう。ほら、セイバーさんもこう言ってますし、じゃんじゃん食べちゃってください。おかわりいっぱいやります。言われるまでもなく。
What in the world?
さくら、山盛りでお願いします。
What was that sound effect? Also, Saber, I see, is just as big of an eater as ever. His vision's blurry again? I meet Ryder's eyes. It looks like we're thinking the same thing, but silence is golden.
ライダーはもうお茶碗からだけど、私は一杯で結構です。セイバーほどの消化器官は持ち合わせてはいませんし、燃費が悪いわけでもない。お茶をいただいていますので、さくらも食事に専念してください。
Ryder pours herself a cup of tea. The way she silently brings the cup to her lips is so elegant.
燃費が悪いとは聞き捨てなりませんね、ライダー。私とて必要最低限であれば一杯で十分だ。ですが、こうして用意された以上、残すこともないでしょう。兵糧は無駄にしてはいけませんし、何より。
Y'all better be burning them calories.
ふろふき大根、美味しいよね。
What in the world? I'm glad she hasn't become any more normal.
あ、セイバーちゃん食べないならちょうだい。
お断りします。
She said, do not even think about it.
いや、
何より、せっかくさくらが用意してくれた食事です。簡単に済ますのは心苦しい。
Genuine
美味しい料理は
warfare at the
素直に
table.
心の赴くままいただくものです。
Saber just voiced a wonderfully wise opinion. Or so I'd say, if she didn't just ask for a third serving. Goodness gracious, man. Everything should be consumed in moderation.
あれ？今日のお味噌汁、なんか味違うね。シロが手伝ったんじゃないでしょう。なんかバラバラな感じ。味が濃いくせにじゃがいもは細かくきれいにカットされてる。下手なのに繊細。駆け出しの彫刻師みたい。
Interesting.
ああ、いや、何事も経験だし、変わったことをしとかないとな。
Ilya's gonna voice that opinion, though, I guess. Can't blame her.
私は前のが好きだけど。
She said, we need Shiro cooking.
こっちも将来性はなくもないかな。
She has potential.
シェラが作る和風料理もこんな感じだし。
Ryder places a hand on her chest in relief. Hopefully she isn't lying. To tell you the truth, today's miso soup is Ryder's careful work. This morning, I overslept and found Sakura and Ryder both in the kitchen. Wow, that's interesting. Oh man. Wait, that's kind of awesome. They got Ryder cooking now. Saber and I sit at the table while keeping a watchful eye on Ryder struggling with the soup pot.
藤村先生、そろそろ時間です。文化祭の準備会始まっちゃいますよ。
あっちゃー、さすがに今日遅刻したら竜道くんに怒られるわね。食後のお茶さえも楽しめないのか、教員生活。
Unfortunate. That's how it goes, though. Fujini gets up with her helmet in one hand, ready to ride her moped, the Tiger.
じゃあさくらちゃん、先に行ってるわね。
I have a feeling you
シロ
shouldn't
も
say
遅
that name
刻
out
しない
loud.
ように来るのよ。進学しないからってあんまり気を抜いてサボらないように。
Our English teacher, aged 20 blank, single, leaves with a smile and a wave. Had to censor the age and made sure to include she's single, bro. Come on. Fujini's been visiting earlier than usual since the cultural festival is coming up. That goes for Sakura too, since she's the new Kyudo club captain, but morning practice during the pre-festival period is just a quick meeting. So she actually has about 30 more minutes of time than usual.
文化祭、もうすぐですね。姉さんもそれまでに帰ってこられればいいんですけど。
Okay, so I think the Ryudo Temple scene was a flash forward then, right? I'm not 100% sure what the purpose of said flash forward was, but it was that, right? Because that was part of the cultural festival, right? Like right at the end, I think is what they said. So that was some kind of flash forward. I don't see the purpose. I mean, my first thought is already that I was wondering if Bazette's situation was kind of time loopy, if that makes sense. With her talks of like twice she was like, I've lost again, or something along those lines. So it made me think time loop, and then if you start with a flash forward and go back, you immediately think if they're somehow connected. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued if that's the case. Or if there's a specific reason that it was like a proper flash forward and then we're going back. I don't know. Usually if you have a big flash forward like that, you would maybe expect it to have like some kind of huge shocking event, and then it's like, and here's how we got there, right? But that's not really what happened. It was just kind of a chill slice of life scene, right? Like, huh. Okay.
そうだな。夏休み中に帰ってくるなんて言っておきながら、もう10月だし。あっちでなんかあったのかな、遠坂。
Nothing big, I hope.
うん。リンが長期滞在してるのは自業自得よ。だいたい1ヶ月で済むわけないじゃない。宝石店の真似事をして失敗したのよ。
Unfortunate.
まあリンには100年早いから万が一なんて起きないだろうけど、もし第二魔法を暴発させてたらそれこそどうなってたことか。
Ilya looks exasperated. It did happen in her castle, though. I guess anyone would hold a grudge over something like that. Let's rewind 2 months ago. One day, before summer break, Tosaka was in her usual mood.
ロンドンに行く身としては切り札が必要でさ。なんでも今季は鬼人が多いって言うし、極東の田舎者としては貫禄の一つでもつけとかないとね。
That's what she said before casually, okay, knowing Tosaka, she probably did take precautions, whipped up an extra small miniature of the jeweled sword to wear as a pendant to let her observe energy waves from parallel worlds. What the heck? Dear God. What has she done? That turned out to be a spectacular failure on a scale we ordinary folks couldn't even imagine. As a result, she lost all the data, material, and even the money she borrowed from Sakura to prepare. According to Ilya, she's a freak for even surviving the accident. That freak became a walking corpse after checking her bank account balance.
エミヤ君、アルバイト先紹介して。
Yeah, this is the Rin I remember. That would have been bad enough, but one day something absurd happened. Later, they would call it the Winchester Affair, a tale of the price one pays when reaching for true magic. And so...
さすがに今回はピンチだわ。このままだと封印指定を受けちゃうかもしれない。その前にねじれちゃったところを直さないと。
Tosaka went off on a trip to the Clock Tower, the headquarters of the world of Magecraft in London.
けどさ、あれって結局どういうことだったんだ？単にイリアの城がしっちゃかめっちゃかになっただけだろ？もう、
分かってないわね、シローは。リンは武器として加工してない得意点をぶっ放しちゃって、この町はちょっとしたターミナルになりかけたんだから。
Oh my god. What did she do? Is this like actually somehow gonna be the cause of the events of the game?
因果率が狂って、事象が合成して、未来の次に過去がつながりそうになったって言えばわかる？
Okay, now I'm thinking that is exactly what happened.
要するに何でもありの世界になりかけたってことか。
わかりやすく言えばね、厳密に言うとこの街で起こりうる可能性なら全て引き寄せられた世界になりかけたってこと。
I think that's exactly what happened, though. Every possibility would have been drawn out, huh? Like winning the lottery, getting invaded by aliens, achieving immortality, or everyone in Fuyuki coming to kill me. Stuff like that. Every dark joke that we can't completely rule out ever happening would come true.
なるほど、それであんなことに。けど、あれはそういうのとはちょっと違ったような。
It was more like a fairy tale world. It was something like Dodgson's Wonderland. I don't know why that word, like Dodgson, clicked me like that. A maze-like escape game with our lives on the line.
あれには私たちも驚きました。リンがしようとしたことは人の手に余ることです。ことによっては聖杯戦争より大事になってしまう。
Sounds like she bit off a little more than she could chew. Just a little bit. One of the victim's muses? Nurses? What in the world? One of the victim's muses. Ryder wasn't the only victim. It included everyone here, plus one.
どうしたさくら？なんか
Oops.
いえ、大したことじゃないんです。今ライダーが言ってたことで少し。
Sakura hesitates. If she doesn't want to continue, I'll just nod. But
聖杯戦争って言葉でしょ。さくらが反応したのは。なんだ、気づいてないのかと思ってたけど、まだ半信半疑だっただけか。
the Winter Girl didn't fail to catch that.
聖杯戦争がどうしたんだよ、イリア。もう半年も前のことだろ、それは。
そうかしら。少なくともサーバントたちはそう思っていないんじゃないかしら。ねえセイバー、ライダー、あなたたちならこの空気に気づいているわよね。ライダー、セイバーさんも何か知っているんですか？
いえ、私は何も。
Okay, clearly lying. Nice.
ただイリアの言う通り、この街の空気が張り詰めていることは承知しています。小さな、本当に些細な違和感なので様子を見ていたのですが。
Okay, so I mean, they literally just said it. Something is definitely going on here. Did Rin accidentally unleash this? A subtle feeling of wrongness? Are you kidding me? Why would Ryder wait all this time to bring up something so obviously bad?
セイバーはライダーの言ってることわかるか？
はい、憶測に過ぎないことですが、よろしいですか、シロ。
I nod silently.
では率直に言えば、殺気立っているのは町ではなく私たちサーバントです。そうでしょう、ライダー。私たちは数日前から共に軽い敵意を抱いている。理性ではなく本能が互いを倒すべき敵だと告げている。それはつまり
As though something within them is telling them the war is restarted.
聖杯戦争時におけるサーバントの高揚感ですか。認めたくはありませんが、私も同じ結論です。
So do they think it's about to like restart essentially, or already has? Saber and Ryder glare at each other. What they're saying is very simple.
そうか。要するに聖杯戦争が起きてるってことだな。
The reasons and methods don't matter now. That's the only possible conclusion.
そんな、ありえません。変ですよ先輩。聖杯なんてもうないじゃないですか。
I mean, how can you be so sure?
それにほら、聖杯戦争が起きるなら教会からお知らせとかあるんじゃないですか？
ああ、けどないよな、そんなの。それじゃあ、新しく聖杯戦争が起きたんじゃなくて、終わったものがなんでか再開したっていうのはどうだろ それなら合点がいくというか。
The masters are still alive, the servants are still here, and we still have our command spells. My left hand still has one command spell I neglected to use.
へえ、そっか。それなら十分ありえるわね。第5次の勝者はシローだけど、シローは聖杯を使わなかった。サーバントもまだ残っている状況だし、何かの弾みで戦闘状態が再開したという解釈はありかも。
So how many of the servants remain is the question. Because obviously we've seen 3 of them. But like, what about Berserker? Right? What about Assassin? Lancer? And then we haven't actually seen Archer. I would assume Archer has to be in the game, but like, how did Shiro win the war if in theory all the servants are here? I'm actually curious.
敗者復活戦ということですか。しかしイリア、聖杯戦争の勝者がシローというのは誰が決めたのです？私は勝者のいない戦いだったと思うのですが。
Ryder isn't saying that because she doesn't accept my victory. She's dissatisfied that the war had no victor and approves of me not being the clear victor.
勝者を決めるのは他ならぬ聖杯よ。結果はどうあれ、聖杯はシローを勝者として捉えている。他ならぬ私が言うんだから間違いないでしょ。
Fair enough.
わかりました。
I guess if I were to trust anyone on matters of the Holy Grail, it would be Ilya.
では、聖杯としてのあなたに問いましょう。この状況をどう打開するべきなのか。
Ryder's looking at Ilya earnestly. She must see the resumed Holy Grail War as a threat, because it would put soccer in danger.
ちょっと待ったライダー。別にどうもこうもないだろう。再開したっていうが、そもそも聖杯がないんだ。戦う理由がないじゃないか。
よくできました。シローの言う通りよ。確かに最近の冬季はどこかおかしいけど、そう目くじらを立てるほどのことじゃないわ。だいたいね、サーバントが聖杯戦争後も限界してるって時点でおかしいんだから。
Yeah.
これぐらいの異常容認しないとやっていけないわよ。
Okay, so I guess it even is like seen as a little strange, like in universe. That's interesting. Just more that Shiro had already been used to it, so seeing Castor wasn't a shock, but it doesn't mean it isn't strange that they're still here.
そうそう。仮にライダーたちがいることでよからぬ企みを持ったやつが来ても変わらない。だってそのよからぬやつを迎撃するのもライダーたちだからな。強者の条件って知ってるか？目立つやつは敵を作りやすいけど、その敵から当然のようにみんなを守れるやつを強者って言うんだ。
Okay.
腕が立つだけの人間はただの暴れん坊。
Yeah.
で、俺が知る限り二人は本当の意味での強者だと思うけど。
はい、またもシローの言う通り、今日のシローは物分かりが良くて100点満点です。
Gassing him up a little. I mean, it's not inaccurate, I'd say, but, you know, he's gassing him up a little bit. I'm glad you approve, because I know you're just going to laze around all day anyway.
だから問題があるとしたらあなたたちよ、シェイバー、ライダー。あなたたち戦いを再開したいの？
断じてありません。まあライダーが戦うというのであれば受けて立ちますが。
So now I don't want to fight, but if I got challenged, I'm just saying, you know?
それはこちらのセリフです。あなたには幾度となく敗れてきた。あなたが私に機会をくれるのなら借りを返しても構いませんが。
She said, I'm gonna get you one of these days. I can practically see the sparks flying. When you peel away the peaceful veneer, they really are rivals.
よかった。ま、発情期の猫じゃあるまいし、いくらあなたたちでも理由なく暴れたりしないものね。退屈だからって人間狩りをするような趣味もないだろうし。
Yeah, most they want to box each other.
イリアスピール、その例えはどうかと思う。私はそのような悪ではない。まあ、彼女には前例があるので弁護することはできませんが。
Alright, let's chill out. Let's chill out before this turns into something, Saber. Ryder looks frustrated, but she doesn't protest. I don't think Saber's any less bestial than she is in certain respects, but setting that aside.
つまりどうなったんでしょう。
他の連中が襲ってくることもないだろうし、しばらくは様子を見よう。まだ事件なんて起きてないんだし、無理に調べて回ることもないってことかな。
そうですね。あ、それじゃあ他のサーバントさんに聞いてみたらどうですか？何かおかしな感じしませんかって。
I mean, I suppose that's the prudent thing to do.
ランサーさんとかよく街で見かけますけど。
Okay, he's just chilling. Sanger makes an odd suggestion, but I'm completely fine with it. I bet Lance would be willing to share his take on all this.
では、私たちも折を見て調べてみることにしましょう。それとさくら、そろそろ登校の時間ですが。
あ、本当だ。ごめんなさい。すぐに片付けちゃいます。
いいえ、後片付けは私の仕事です、さくら。あなたは落ち着いて登校してください。
Yeah, you gotta get going.
ありがとう、ライダー。それじゃあよろしくね。
Sakura cheerfully gets ready to leave. I still have about 20 minutes left, so I'll help Ryder.
行ってきます。先輩、サボっちゃダメですよ。
We're not intending to. Sakura hurries off to school. Morning's over, for now.
二人とも食器は流しに出しといてくれ。着替えてきてから一気にやっちまうから。
助かります。正直、洗い物はまだ苦手です。
Just gotta get some more practice, I guess. Ryder isn't clumsy, but she sometimes can't control her own strength. She's a bowl breaker in a different way than Saber is. Yo, that's a crazy sentence. A bowl breaker in a different way than Saber is. You made sure to diss both of them in the same sentence. That is crazy about you, Shiro. Anyway, I go back to my room, and then...
シロ、先ほどの話ですが、夜の巡回をするのなら声をかけてください。
Oh, it's so starting back up, bro.
イリアスピールはああ言っていましたが、私はどこか引っかかるのです。
I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily expecting this to turn into like a proper Grail War, but like, I feel like there's going to be a little something, you know, at least. I appreciate the thought. I'm glad she understands. I feel a little guilty about it, but a part of me is excited to go back to half a year ago.
わかった。折を見て夜に出かけるときは声をかけるよ。街の様子がおかしいっていうのは確かなんだし、万が一に備えてパトロールしよう。まあそもそもセイバー以外と巡回をするなんて考えられないけどな。
It would feel wrong.
はい。あなたならそう言ってくれると信じていました。シロ。
Same here. If Saber accompanies me on patrol, I shouldn't die too easily. It shouldn't be super easy, you know? The time is past 7:30 a.m. Now, should I go to school or relax at home? Things have gotten strange, but rushing won't help me learn anything.
気が向いたら調べてみるか。
Fortunately, I have 3 days off starting tomorrow. They're meant to be relaxing, not distressing. I just need to live my life without being too tense. The 10/8. Oh. What the hell? What in the world is going on? Yeah, this is, I don't know. Where's my phone? I'm not 100% sure what I expected. But it wasn't this. You know, I figured we were just going to keep going as normal. Now, I've got some comments telling me which events I should do. Going to my YouTube comments. Okay, do new early. And then, was it triple exclamation mark that I was also told to do early? I think so. Why is that comment not showing up here? It looks like the single exclamation mark are story, and then new and triple exclamation mark are, I guess, optional. So it's often worth seeing them. So like, let's go in here, see what's going on here. Well, I have some time, so I'll clean my room. It shouldn't be much work. I don't actually own a lot.
しかしな。
Strangely, my things have piled up day by day. It's like having a rabbit that gives birth to a litter every time you take your eyes off it.
ウサギだっけ、ネズミだっけ。とにかく。
Kind of feel that though. I always feel like I don't own that much, and then gradually there's just stuff kind of piling up, you know? I know the cause. I know it very well, and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
ま、軽く掃除機をかけよう。
But I already know that if I get out the vacuum cleaner, I'll want to vacuum the neighboring rooms and won't be content until I've covered the entire building. This is supposed to be relaxing. I need to be sure to draw the line and stop somewhere. I pushed the vacuum cleaner around. Bro did not draw the line. Ah, I found the cause of the increasing stuff, or rather, the hoarding. Just as I was wondering what she brought today.
ありゃ？シロ何してるの？
掃除しようと思って。
了解。じゃあ後のことはよろしく。
ちょいと待て。
Don't just drop a box of junk in my room and then leave. I'm kind of confused about the timeline of this. I'm like... Because... I mean... He has 30 minutes. Fujini should be at school. Right? Am I right to assume that this isn't necessarily taking place, like, right before we go to school? Otherwise, I don't know how this scene really makes a ton of sense. Let's just keep moving for now. Don't just drop a box of junk in my room and then leave.
それはなんだ、藤根。
え？だってほら、シロが冬眠するときに必要かなと思って。
Do I look like I'm really that type? Also, junk wouldn't help someone hibernate.
藤根、この部屋は俺のねぐらであって、ビーバーのダムか何かじゃない。いや、むしろ。
言われてみればそっくりね。
And whose fault is that?
けどシロ、最近のカラスはバカにできないわよ。バイタリティあふれるワイルドぶりで洗濯物のハンガーでも巣を作るんだから。
They're intelligent. Huh. They even use hangers in their nests? That reminds me of a puzzle game. Those are supposed to be smart, but they're adaptable too.
まあ、それはともかく。
My bedroom is not a storage space. The shed in the yard is already turned into one of Fujini's storerooms. I won't let her take over this space too. I wish she'd build a nest in her own house.
もしや、俺の部屋で冬眠する気か、藤根。ん？
虎って冬眠したっけ？
熊は冬眠するけども、どうかな。しない気がする。
I guess I don't actually know. I would assume they don't. Is she saying she'd hibernate if she found out that tigers do? Actually, I can imagine her trying to pull it off.
いいよね、冬眠できる動物は。冬の間ずーっと穴蔵で寝ていればいいんだから、ちょっと憧れてみたり。
冬眠って秋にはたくさん食わないといけないし、春先はガリガリになるし。
それっていわゆる一つの天高く馬こゆる秋に食欲の限りを尽くして、おまけに春先にはダイエットも達成ってこと？
I mean, yeah. You're making this sound appealing to her. You might need to reword this. Man, I sometimes wish she'd hand over some of whatever it is that keeps her so upbeat.
ますますしたくなってきたわね、冬眠。
仕事どうするんだよ。
Fired.
冬眠休暇制度はないか。
Yeah, I mean, why didn't we think of that? Winter hibernation leave, of course. Just use your paid time off during winter break. And then bury yourself under the kotatsu. I hear it turns people into lazy bums.
で、藤根。それは柿の段ボールに見えるけど、どんなガラクタが入ってるんだ？
え？柿に決まってるじゃない、白。
Well, I suppose... Wait, no. Are they actually persimmons?
ここまで持ってくるのは大変だったわよ。
ご苦労様。で、なんで俺の部屋に？
台所が手狭だったから適当に置き場所探してたのよ。でもほら、誰もいないところに置いて忘れられちゃうともったいないじゃない。ならシロの部屋がちょうどいいかなーって。
No. No.
はあ、そうですか。
I mean, I guess I see the logic, but no.
けど藤根、前は今にドドーンとみかんとかスイカとか置いてたじゃないか。
そうなんだけどね、最近はセーバーちゃんとかさくらちゃんとかいるし、散らかしちゃ悪いじゃない。
So the solution is to make a mess of Shiro's room.
実に素晴らしい心遣いですが、その思いやりがどうしてここには適用されないのか。
Right.
えい。
I use the vacuum cleaner as a tool to open the box. Inside, I see rows of bright, glossy persimmons.
シロが冬眠するならやっぱり餌がいるかなーって。
俺はしないから。またこれ藤村組のお裾分けなのか？
そうそう、もううちにドドドーンって。
They must have really gotten a big shipment, and then, for whatever reason, they get so much fruit every season that I wonder if they're bound for some farmer's market. Grandpa Riga, wow, I had never once considered the names of anyone else in this family. Grandpa Riga once said it was the price for being part of the family.
あれくらいあるんなら軒先で干し柿にしようかってほど。
The price for being in the family is you gotta take in random junk.
干し柿は渋柿だぞ。それを生で送りつけるのはどんな嫌がらせだ。
Anyway, we have 2 boxes of persimmons. I pick one up and find that it's rather ripe and plump.
俺、早々に食い切らないとまずいな。
でしょでしょ。もうあっちは朝に柿、昼に柿、夜に柿の柿の大盤振る舞いでさ、シロにもこの秋の風情をお裾分けしてあげたいという温かいお姉ちゃんの配慮なわけ。
Why, thank you, Fujini. So considerate. Considerate, rather than dumping what you can't finish on me. Uh-huh. Still, they aren't bad as far as persimmons go. Actually, these are great quality.
もったいないな、このまま傷むのは。
大丈夫じゃないの？みんなで手分けすればあっという間になくなるわよ。
みかんでもノルマがあったけど、今度は柿か。桃と梨は早くなくなったんだけどな。
I mean, I guess if you got 6 people going through them, it's not too bad. I recall the assortment of fruits that have gone through our house, but we have a lot more people to consume them than half a year ago, so they should go quickly.
これからみかんとリンゴが待ち構えてるのにね。セーバーちゃんならたくさん食べそうだし。
リンゴと柿は料理に使えるからなんとかなるかな。とにかくこれ別の場所に持ってくぞ。
I can't clean my room with these in the way. The room on the north side is open, so I can just set it down in the hall around there.
一箱くらいシロの冬眠よ。
そんなにたくさんいらないってば。ほら藤根も。
She's really insisting.
わかったわよ。よっこらしょ。
Definitely an interesting scene. 10-8, day 1. Kind of interesting to, like, see the floor plan. that I feel like we've never, like, properly seen, you know? It's definitely interesting to get to see this like this, you know? I assume nothing happens if I click on someone's room that does not have an event. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're going into town. Okay. Okay, hold on. Back to the old comments. Like, should I be doing the Rito Temple one right now? Okay. Exclamation mark ones move the story forward, so we'll go somewhere else for the time being. Oh, can't. Nope, wait, can't. Okay, there's two events with the same indicator, so I don't know if it really matters which one we do first. Like, why does this one have a giant go on it? I'm not completely sure the difference between the two, because they've got like the same icon. One of them, like I said, has the big go, one does not. We're gonna just try to go there first. See Lancer? There's a familiar face at the port. While Lancer can show up anywhere, he's actually irregular with his hobbies in the afternoon like this. Now, how should I call out to him? Okay. Well, I guess we've only really got one option. About the Holy Grail War. I need to check his intention first, after all. He's the type that falls clearly into combative among the servants. It's possible that he would gladly adapt to the current situation, always happy to fight anything.
Huh? 誰かと思えばセイバーのマスターか。
Bro, what in the world? Bro is loving it here, huh? Bro got himself a little fishing rod. He's got some cigs. I mean, he's got some drinks. I don't know if those are the alcoholic type or the normal type, but I mean, he's living it up. What? The shirt too, bro. Man, he is enjoying his extra time here.
俺も気を抜きすぎかね。一瞬誰かと思ったぜ。
Letting my guard down my ass. Despite stealthily approaching him, he noticed me from nearly 10 meters away like it was nothing.
似合わねえからアサシンの真似事なんざするな。第一盗み取ろうにもまだ一匹も釣れてねえぞ。
You gotta, bro. We were here to steal some fish. Damn it.
どうも今日は当たりが薄い。夕食の調達なら他を渡ってくれ。
That's rare for Lancer, who can survive anywhere, whether it's land, sea, or mountains, to be out of luck. No, that's not the problem.
夕食の調達ってなんでだよ。
そりゃお前のところに提供してるからだろう。夕方になると元気な姉ちゃんがやってきて、生きのいいやつちょうだいなんてバケツ一杯持ってくぞ。
それはご迷惑をおかけしました。というか、藤根の土産に魚が多くなった原因がこんなところに。世の中狭すぎる。
It all circles back to Fujini, doesn't it?
それが人の不思議ってもんだ。まあ、あの姉ちゃんそのものが不思議の塊だが。
That's a fair way to put it.
で、飯が目的じゃねえなら何しに来やがった小僧。
Ultimately, he is a servant, with business never far off. I thought he had become complacent with peace, since he had assimilated into city life more than Saber and the others, but of course that's not really the case.
何しにって、真面目な話をしに来たんだよ。ランサー、あんた今の状況をどう思ってる？
No, first of all,
どうしてまだこっちに留まっているんだ？
Lancer is Kodamine's servant, but Kirei Kodamine passed away half a year ago. Servants cannot exist if they lose their master, therefore, it's odd that Lancer's here in the first place. That's interesting. That Kirei's dead. I assume it's probably because, like, something along the lines of he just always dies, right? Like, he dies in every route, right? He definitely dies in Heaven's Feel. Definitely dies... I'm almost positive he dies in Unlimited Blade Works. I don't see any way... Actually, I think I remember this... I might remember a CG of him dying in the Fate route. So I think he dies in all of them, which makes sense, right? But I guess it's kind of interesting that that means he's not here because of that. Presumably, that's the reason why, at least. And despite that, he's still here, right? Cuchulain's still here. It actually makes you wonder if Gilgamesh is still here. Did someone else take that role as master? I don't know. I am curious, actually. Servants cannot exist if they lose their master. Therefore, it's odd that Lancer's here in the first place.
どうしても何もマスターと契約しているからだろ。ギルガメッシュの野郎はともかく、俺にはマスターなしで限界できる力はないぜ。
契約って、だって琴峰は
死んでるな。確かに奴はくたばった。が、どういうわけだか契約は続いててな。
Interesting.
俺もそのあたりは気になるんだが。
Not really giving much of an explanation right now.
ま、こうしてあるんだからいいじゃねえか。生きてることを悩んでもしょうがねえだろ。
I suppose that's a fair point.
汝あるがままを行えってな。細かいことは気にするな。悩み事ってのはな、どうしてじゃなく、どうやってにすべきだろう。
I feel like it's mostly the same with this question. How are you still alive and why are you still alive are essentially asking the same thing, I would think. What he said opens my eyes. His whole, I'm well aware that the current situation isn't normal, but what about it? I'm just me, so I'll do what I want mentality. Literally, he's telling me to let it be. His dauntlessness makes all my worrying seem inconsequential.
じゃあなんだ。あんたは琴峰がいないのに契約が続いているって状況を解明しようと思わないのか？
ああ。無理して調べる気はねえべさ。
Fair enough.
向こうから何も言ってこねえ限り気ままに過ごさせてもらうだけよ。
それは聖杯戦争についてもか。戦いが再開したことはあんたも感じているんだろ
う。ああ、それね。確かにサーバントを倒さなければいけないなんて衝動なら湧いてきてるが。
Bro's like, yeah, it is resuming. Yeah, okay. Like, I guess there's an urge to defeat the servants, but...
俺は中立ってところだな。
Bro is unbelievably laid back.
あまり乗り気はしねえが、やるってんなら相手になるさ。
Lancer isn't lying. I'd have thought Lancer would be more spoiling for a fight, but even he seems apathetic about the situation. That's right. I'm the one who thought Lancer has assimilated more than Saber. I guess that means he's enjoying his life here.
そっか。ランサーにとっちゃもうセイバーもライダーも身内だもんな。自分から殺し合うことはないんだ。
わけねえだろ。サーバントは全員敵だぜ。
I'm about to say, he sound like he almost broke that fishing rod. He quickly answers, the same ruthlessness as when he nearly killed me half a year ago.
なんでだ。あんた誰とでも仲いいじゃないか。なのにみんな敵だっていうのか。
That's certainly interesting.
バカ。それとこれと話は別だ。敵でも好きなやつは好きでいいんだよ。敵だから憎まなくちゃいけねえ理由なんてねえんだから。
I mean, that makes sense. It's kind of interesting that that's like... kind of the opposite of whatever Bazette's servant was. My jaw drops. I was already amazed by how bold he was, but this blows me away on a whole other level.
参った。すごいな、あんた。
小僧に褒められても嬉しかねえや。話はこれでしまいか。なら釣りに戻るぞ。そろそろ当たりが来る気配だ。
I'll trust your instincts. Lancer returns to fishing, as if nothing happened. I leave the port, satisfied with the answer that I got.
けどそれって。
Lancer said that there's no need to hate enemies. Those feelings in the battlefield are separate. But, on the other hand, that means if Lancer were facing an opponent that was family or a loved one, he would still kill them without prejudice. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really shock me. Oops, maybe I was supposed to go to Ryudo Temple first. Maybe that's why I was yelling, "Go" at me. Okay, so interesting. The scene itself was interesting, first of all, but actually, I guess just kind of doing it has made me realize, I guess it's not going to be like, this isn't going to be a story where it's like every single bit of every single day is told, right? Like, I was like, how is this scene even happening? Like, isn't Fujini gone, right? Like, aren't we supposed to be going to school? I guess the logic is he went to school and that was just later in the day, but it was still the same day, right? So that's interesting. Okay. Oh, I guess let's keep going for now. It's past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incident, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? Okay, so this is what people were saying when they said these are the story ones, these are the other ones, right? Like, these are, I guess, the more optional scenes. So do the news, right? Okay. We'll do that. We'll go investigate the town at night. That's the first thing I'm going to do. By myself. No option with Saber. That's interesting. I'll go check out the town. I know what Saber said, but there are some things I can't know unless I'm alone. I slip outside, doing my best to stay unnoticed. It's peaceful around the Emiya house. Not a suspicious figure in sight.
なるほど。これは半年前の再現になるんだ。
Why did I go outside alone, you ask? Why didn't I ask Saber for help? An outside observer would be able to understand. No matter how little danger there is, any rational person would know better than to venture outside alone. Just because there aren't any enemies around doesn't mean that there isn't something strange going on in town. Apparently, acting alone is only useful as a fishing strategy to offer myself up as bait. Speaking for myself, I know it's bad that I don't even know my own intentions until I act.
気まぐれで選んだんだけどな。ま、何事も経験だ。
He thinks that if something's gonna happen, it's gonna be more likely to happen if Saber's not with him, being cautious the whole time. You know, something kind of random that I've been thinking about is I keep looking at the bottom of the screen, right? And this is very clear. There's like a pattern down here. This is very clearly not, right? Like, this is not related. Like, this isn't like some dust formation on my screen, right? Like, it's clearly there intentionally. And it's not even just like, there's usually like a zone, like, yeah, like way down here. You can kind of see an area, or like there's an area where if you hover it, it'll like remove the text box, which is kind of interesting because this only actually shows up when that text box is up, so it's part of the text box, right? But it's not necessarily like the whole design is that area. So I'm kind of curious, like, if this is somehow going to be related to like a twist later, or if they just wanted to spice up the text box. But like, I don't know, it looks kind of, I don't know how to word it, like a little archaic or chaotic maybe, right? Like, this doesn't just look like a little pattern they added for the text box. It almost like it's also at the top. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. It's also at the top. So it definitely has nothing to do with the fact that you can hover down there. It's not a way to tell you that because it's up at the top too, just a little bit, right? For some reason, it almost makes me feel of like when you're like when you are in a, like, how do I word this, right? Like long distance sight, right? Like what's the word for that? Like a magical vision almost, right? Seeing something from an impossible distance, right? That you shouldn't be able to see, right? Like a scrying eye, maybe is the word I'm looking for. For some reason, I feel like I associate this design with like a scrying eye, and so I kind of wonder if that's like intentional, if there's nothing to that, and I'm overthinking this. It's just something I'm looking at, and it keeps gnawing at me. So I'm kind of curious about like what's up with that. For now, we'll move on. It's just every time I look down there, I'm like, what is that? Right? Anyways, let's move on. Shiro's going out alone, kind of using himself as bait. See if something big will happen. I start walking, staring up at the night sky. I can just go back to the house if I sense danger, and hold up in my room until tomorrow. I gaze at the moon. The moonlight illuminates the darkness, making the air seem clear and serene. Now then, I hope I can find something so out of the ordinary that even a blockhead like me can understand it. Whoa. And I guess let's start at the Ryudo Temple. The mountain gate is silent. The stone steps stretch into the night sky. For some reason, the long stairway appears as if it extends into the sky itself. Fortunately, the moon isn't directly above Ryudo Temple, so the stairs end at the temple, rather than literally leading to some otherworldly lunar realm. Unless? Kind of curious if we're going to meet, like, Assassin or Caster here. I peer into the temple from the gate. Nothing seems amiss in the temple grounds. If I want to investigate further, I'll have to go inside.
そこ。あと一歩で首を落とすことになるぞ。
Why, hello, assassin. But as you can see, a servant still guards the mountain gate.
あんたも暇なんだな。もうここを守る必要はないのに、律儀に役割を果たしている。それとも何か、もしかして仏像泥棒とか多い？
盗人はとんと見かけぬが、違うものならよく通るぞ。そら、今もお前の横を通り過ぎた。
Of course, there's no one there. All I feel is a lukewarm breeze against my cheek.
やめてくれ。寺で幽霊の話なんてご法度だ。
So apparently not.
ただでさえ一人ぼっちでおっかないんだから、脅かすのはなし。
Oh, I see. Servants are spirits too, so he might actually mean it.
なあ、もしかして本当に出るのか、ここ。
出るとも、お前が気づかないだけだ。私も生前は真っ当な百姓だったからな。霊感などあるわけもなし、同業を見るのはここに来てからのことになるが。
That makes sense. Well, if I can't see them, then no harm done. The only ghosts that can hurt humans are the ones that we can see. If they're invisible, then they won't pose a threat to my life, no matter what they are.
知りたければ、一度死んでみることだ。
Hey, we already did that. We did that, actually. We did die once. So, nice try.
ここの女狐ならば、臨死程度、二つ返事で引き受けると思うが。
That's an interesting choice of word. That's rude.
お断りだよ。キャスターは今一つ信用ならない。
Yeah, I think that's the correct way to view things, is to not trust Caster.
なんか、初めは善意で引き受けてくれるけど、仕事中に悪知恵ひらめいて、土壇場で裏切りそうな気がする。
I mean...
違いない。あれがサーバントのいでたちをしているときは気をつけるがいい。
Caster's probably a good woman at heart. She's reformed now, but after living a life stained with treachery and dirty dealings, she still has moments when she smirks and slips back into witch mode. Among the servants I shouldn't let my guard down around, she's got to be one of the riskiest. Yeah, I'd say so. She definitely seems like the one most likely to stab you in the back, or do an evil experiment on you, or put you in some weird dress.
しかし、今宵は何用だ。つまらぬ用向きなら昼にしろ。門番たる責務はないが、霊樹の縛りは働いていてな。この時間に外から来る者には加減できん。
ああ、そうか。あんた、霊樹でここを守ってるんだっけ？
This servant was unrelated to the Holy Grail War to begin with. Assassin's only role was to intercept enemies who attempted to breach the gate with his sword. He wouldn't have anything to do with disturbances in town, nor would he care.
帰るよ。退屈の邪魔をしてすまなかった。
なんだ、冷やかしであったのか。
I feel like you should use the chance to ask him if he gets that feeling, like, regarding the other servants as well. Same way you just asked Lancer.
あんたが守ってるなら大丈夫。今度来るとき、覚えてたら土産でも持ってくるよ。
I leave the mountain gate.
それはそれは。ならば、見目麗しい花を一つ、いや、二つ、所望しよう。
Bro getting a little greedy, huh? Wants two.
不満があるわけではないが、こう月ばかりでは、男が廃るというものだからな。
Sounds like you're complaining, but sure. I think he's asking me to bring Saber and Ryder. I'm not sure whether to call him bold or bizarre. He might be the only guy who'd make a pass at two servants who used to be his mortal enemies. Though, I can relate. A beautiful springtime night like this might be a nice occasion for an evening party. It's about time to head back. I don't necessarily need to turn up anything tonight. There's always tomorrow. I return to the Emiya house. There's still some time before the night is over. The day is over. I guess there's not any time before it's over. I lie down, splay out my arms and legs, and let the fatigue overcome my body. My mind sinks into the calming numbness of sleep. I feel so free. It's a bad omen, so I can't trust the break in my consciousness. Sleep is a rite of passage to end one day and begin the next. Everyone returns to the hollow of memory. I sink and relax into the abyss.
さて、明日は何をしたもんかな。
That's a problem for tomorrow. There's a lot to think about and do, but I can decide tomorrow. For now, I commend myself on a good day's work. And hit the hay. 10-9, program plagiarism, AM, day 2. Okay, so it looks like there's nothing going on in the house, so we're going into the town. I'm guessing this... Okay. So this is where we would go to the Ryudo Temple. Right, so like, we can go over here. Oh, hello, Saber. So, I mean, I reckon we'll go hang out with Saber, right? That was the question mark, so sold the exclamation marks are where the plot kind of progresses, so I assume this is the plot progression? Or is that just telling me that's new? I don't... We'll figure this out. But we're going to do the question marks first, because I think I heard... like it looked like I was being told I should do those first. So let's hit the hardware. Why was there a rice ball? Why is there, like... Why is there a horn? Saber says, as she looks back, there's nothing else to see. I came here on a whim, and the first person who I found was Saber. A white blouse and an ultramarine blue skirt, her shining golden hair. I could tell that it was Saber right away, even from afar. Yet I didn't call to her for a while, even as I came close to her. This must not be her first time seeing the ocean. She's staring too far into the distance, so I can't help but think that. How stupid. Saber's hometown should be by the seaside.
この国の海は穏やかですね。シロ。
ああ、ここは内海だからな。遠くに行けばもっと荒い海もあるよ。
It would be grand if the waves surged on the cape like the black current of the Pacific coast or the rough waves of the Sea of Japan. Taking Saber to a place like that sounds like a dream.
私の故郷の海は風が逆まくと、まるで銭湯の白馬がたてがみを逆立てて走るようでした。
I mean, that's a vivid description. Like 1,000 white horses were running while bristling up their manes when the wind made the waves turbulent.
あるいは白亜の岬の上から遠くの陸地を眺めれば、海霧の向こうに長く続く対岸が見えた。
Even though it's a calm sea of a warm autumn day, I can picture that scenery when Saber describes it. Yeah, she's good at describing it. A more harsh and solemn scenery that isn't similar and can't be seen from the ocean now. I glance at Saber's side profile. Oh, when she's talking about her hometown, it feels somewhat painful.
いつか私の国に平和が訪れれば、船に乗って異国の大地を見てみたかった。
I suppose you've been given the chance now.
大陸から来る騎士たちの語るガリアの黄金の平原、エリンの民の住まうヒベルニアの緑の丘、あるいは銀融詩人たちの語る歌に編まれた遠い大地に、私の旗を翻し、未知の文物をこの目に収めたかった。
Sounds like she just wanted to get Britain right and go explore the world. Never really got the chance. I have no words to respond with. Discussing an ending that couldn't be fulfilled is not my job right now.
そういうことを思い出していました。私は恵まれている。未練ではなく、良き思い出として、どんな奇跡が働いたのか。
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. It is a miracle that you're here with this chance.
私はかつての国を思い、シローのいる国で、今も記憶をつなげている。
Saber turns around. The sea breeze flows through her arms, as if to bless her.
この地は、私を包み込むように暖かくていい。いずこの大地も、住めば都と言いますから。いつかシローにも、私の故郷を見せたいものです。
I wonder if we're gonna... Like, what are the odds that we're gonna get, I guess, events like that in this game, right? Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem super likely, but what if we do get that chance in the game? Like, that'd be kind of interesting. That'd be cool. Right, we're already getting a lot of chill scenes. I wonder if we would get to see something like that, or if that's still out of the scope of the game.
たとえ時代は変わってしまっても、あの緑の丘には、私たちが生きた時代の息吹が残っていると信じたい。
It would definitely be interesting to get to see Saber see her own country now. A hope similar to envy. There's no words for me to say as usual.
シロ、どうしたのです？辛そうな顔をして。何かあなたを困らせるようなことを口に。
そうじゃなくて、セイバーがそんな風に故郷の話をするのが初めてだったから。
The hometown that Saber talks about is scented like illusions and grass. I think hard about what kind of scent Fuyuki would give off when talking about it in another country as an example.
故郷は遠くにありて思うものだったっけ？
誰の歌かは知りませんが、その郷愁はわかります。誰しも離れてみなければ自分がどこにいたのかはわかりませんから。
I mean, this is just kind of a peaceful moment with kind of an interesting discussion. I mean, they're not really wrong. In the sense that, I guess you don't really know where you consider home until you're not there.
ああ、それは。
I think I've heard something similar before. When you break something that you don't feel that attached to, you realize that something was important in exchange for mourning something that won't come back.
離れてみるまではわからない。けど、なんていうかな。この町で育って、この町で暮らすのが当たり前すぎてさ。どこか遠くに行っても、結局はここが帰りたい場所のような気がするよ。
はい。その言葉には、シローのあり方を感じる。異国で故郷を思いながらも、あなたの心はこの町にあるのです。それが正しい。誰にとっても、故郷とはそういったものなのですから。
I nod to Saber's words. There's no one who wouldn't love the land that they grew up in. Even if they don't have any clear feelings of affection, that is a homing instinct that's incorporated with an unconscious foundation that's hard to go against. Yet, Even so, there are some unique souls who hate their hometown so much that they want to leave. There are plenty of towns you haven't seen much of, if that's, I suppose, that shocking to you. It might be because of the strong sunlight. I feel like I'm getting a bit dizzy. Since Saber was at the port for once, I got caught in my thoughts thinking of something out of character for me, like about my hometown. Alright, for a change of pace.
そうだ、そういえば魚好きだよな。
You know, I will say, I guess now that the music's playing, I find it kind of interesting how we've gotten a decent amount of scenes that don't really have any music, right? Just kind of some background noise, right? It's kind of an interesting change of pace, honestly. Feels like kind of wrong, like I don't know, like it feels empty in a way, but also like I kind of like it at the same time. I think I just need to get used to it. It feels really weird, but like something as simple as, you know, we're admiring the ocean, so it makes sense that we're hearing like, you know, seagulls and stuff, and like the sounds of the water.
ええ、特定のものを除けば好みですが、もしやシロ、ここの港には魚市場があると。
Yes?
いや、さすがにない。
Oh.
ああ、でも秋の
I mean, I assume there
魚は
has
いいな。サンマに柚子。
I assume there has to be one somewhere in the area, but I guess maybe she meant the immediate area. I'm like, there's no way there's not a single one in all of Fuyuki, right? Like, or the surrounding areas, right? Like, surely.
この国の情緒ですね。はい。
Thus, tonight's menu was decided. It would be good if there were some that were fatty, but, well, any fish during the season would be good no matter what. And bringing out the flavors up to the skill of the chef. However, it's only times like this that there's no one fishing all day.
期待しています、シロ。
ああ、尽力しますと。セイバーはどっか。
いいえ、特にはありません。
I don't know why I just...
そろそろ戻りましょう、シロ。
I don't know why I just skipped that line, but... I leave the port, being urged by Saber. The sea breeze pushes my back. The horizon in the distance. I wonder if the wind that blows from a distant foreign country crosses this country and eventually goes back to its hometown. Illustration added to gallery. Okay. 10-9 program plagiarism, PM, day 2. So, I'm guessing... Oh, wait, no. Okay, so... I mean, to a degree, it seems like that exclamation mark is just kind of telling you there's a new event there, right? We've also got the school map and the Rito Temple map. So, I mean, these are question marks too, but like, let's click the Rito Temple map, right? Like, it's gonna bring us here, and okay, yeah, see, we got question marks again. Go back into town. This is the school map. It's just telling you there's something there. Wait, there's something at the Emi residence? Okay. Doesn't really look like there's anything at the school. Is that just one of, like, is the giant thing saying go just telling you there's, like, a bigger map, I suppose? Okay. I mean, these are all, like, the question mark events, right? So it doesn't seem like any of them should particularly progress the plot. Sakura's got an exclamation mark overhead, so just in case that one is progressing the plot, we're going to do a different one. Just keep knocking out some of these side events. I mean, I'm enjoying them. I'm not just doing them to do them, you know? There's not much to say on a lot of them. They're all kind of slice of lifey so far. Which again, I don't view as a bad thing. It's kind of harder to have like big thought out discussions on them, right? Like, but sometimes people raise interesting perspectives, kind of like, you know, Saber's like thoughts were kind of interesting. Lancer's perspective on like basically getting that feeling that he's not right now looking to fight, but he doesn't separate... The big thing is he doesn't separate liking someone from fighting them and killing them in combat if they're an enemy, right? He can like his enemies, right? You know? Which is interesting. I mean, it checks out knowing him. It felt like he was always at least somewhat friendly, right? Or like he kind of had fun bantering at times, but still like, well, sorry, I gotta kill you, dude. And it's like, what? Like, you know, so, I mean, nice little explanation there. Just getting the insight into some of these characters is nice, you know? See, I'm looking now, and it's like, where is that thing that was at the bottom? Right? Like, that I mentioned that I thought looked kind of weird and reminded me of some, like, scrying eye. Now we've got this design on the side. See, and that just looks like a normal, like, kind of just chill design to mix things up a little bit, but... like, why the difference? I don't know. Are there just multiple different text boxes and I shouldn't think too much on it? For now, I'm not going to think too much on it, but... interesting. I see fallen leaves scattered around the yard, a sure sign that we're firmly into autumn. While I do think it's an elegant sight, it means I have to keep the yard tidy. The best time to do something is right when you think of it, so I'll take care of it while I'm still in the mood. Someone gonna come out and help us or something? Guess not. I thought it would be hard to clean the entire yard on my own, but it wasn't that much work once I set my mind to it. Training with Saber is much more tiring by comparison. All of the fallen leaves are piled into one corner. The burnable trash isn't going to be collected tomorrow, so I don't know where to put them. Besides, it feels like a bit of a waste to throw all of the collected leaves and dead branches into the trash. Luckily, I have everything I need. I did this several times when Kiritsugu was still here, so I'll try it again. Making a bonfire. We collected the fallen leaves to make a bonfire and roasted the sweet potatoes from the kitchen. All that's left to do is to relax while keeping a careful eye on the fire. Once it's about time, I remove the aluminum foil wrapped potatoes. They're plenty hot even through my mittens. Now, these are some proper roasted potatoes. I stuff my cheeks with roasted sweet potato. They're so delicious my cheeks could fall off, but somehow it feels lonely roasting potatoes over a bonfire all by myself. The smoke from the bonfire slowly rises into the air. I hope someone else is here to do this with me next time. Just a little moment of solitude, raking the leaves in the lawn, I guess. It's past 9 p.m., after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? I mean, we still have several options for investigating the town at night. We still gotta do it by ourselves. I guess we gotta clear out some of the rest of the areas. So, is that just like the name of the event that we saw? I guess we can hit the intersection. See, like it's that same thing is back again. Nothing out of the ordinary here. It's dark compared to the Shinto city center in the distance, but I can hear signs of human activity if I listen carefully. An engine rumbles as a car passes by, so that's not what I would describe as the sound of an engine? I don't know, it sounded like the souls of the damned, maybe? But... a jogger pants, their breath ragged. Why is that in red? Laughter rings from an illuminated home. The jogger pants, their tongue sticking out of their mouth. Now then, maybe I should be getting home. What the hell? What was that red text? Roulette rotation 1010. Okay, we got something in Sakura's room. We'll probably check that out. But let's look around. Sakura's not at the Mata residence anymore, so I guess the day that we do certain events does kind of matter. That's interesting. So, I mean, I assume you can't necessarily miss events. Like eventually you'll be able to see them all. But, so it's interesting that she's not there anymore. What's at the school? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm picking Sakura over you. I guess let's go hang out with Sakura. See what she's got. I'll go talk to Sakura about lunch. We have a big family to feed. It's a lot easier when we both work at it together. Sakura normally lives at the Mata residence, but she stays in my house on weekends and long holidays. Ryder and Saber prefer the Japanese-style rooms in the main building, while Sakura and Tosaka prefer the Western-style rooms in the guest house. On top of that, Fujini and Ilya show up sometimes for meals, so the population of the Emiya household has exploded. Yeah, I see that. Get upwards of, what, 7? Seems like. And I guess you really got a question, like, specifically Archer, right? He shows up too. It could make 8, you know? Sheesh.
Sakura, いるか?
先輩ですか？ちょっとダメ。いや、いいです。はい。
I have no idea if it's okay to go in or not. I think the fine gave me permission to enter, or maybe she was telling me she's fine for now and I should come back later? I did suddenly intrude on her, so maybe I should leave and come back after all.
おい、忙しいなら後にするけど。
そんなことはありません。はい、どうぞ。
それじゃあお邪魔します。
お待たせしました。先輩、どんなご用ですか？
その昼の相談に来たんだ。
It's got her acting so weird.
ちょっと早いけど、早めに来ればさくらとのんびりできるかと思って。
それはありがとうございます。
いや、お礼を言われるようなことじゃないけど。
I guess she appreciates the thought. I feel bashful now, too. How pathetic. I should be used to being around her, but I start to feel shy whenever we're alone together.
はい。それじゃあ、ゆっくりくつろいでいってください。
悪い。なんか立て込んでたみたいだけど。
違うんです。ちょっと二度寝しちゃって。でもですね、先輩のおかげで目が覚めましたから、ぐうだらさんにならずに済みました。
We take our wins for the day.
その意味でありがとうございましたというのはどうでしょうか。
Sure.
ああ、そういうことか。なら遠慮なく。
I was hoping there'd be another line of dialogue there. Voiced, that is, and there was not. I have no reason to refuse now. I enter and sit down in Sakura's bedroom. There's a faint, sweet aroma in the air. Huh. Is that perfume or air freshener?
少し強すぎました？
別に冷房も暖房も。
What?
いえ、先輩も香りに気がついたみたいで、少しフレグランスを使ったんですけど。
Wants to know if she smells nice, bro. Or if the room smells nice, you know? Yeah. She wants to know if she smells nice. So it was perfume. I don't know what brand it is, but it smells good, so Sakura uses it too.
ちょっとつけた方がいいかなって。
いや、まあ似合うと思う。
The person who uses perfume most often in our household is Tosaka, I think. She's pretty conscious about using different scents for different situations.
遠坂の場合は変な薬の匂いをごまかすためにつけてるけど、さくらは違うんだろ？
私は見よう見まねです。姉さんはいろいろやってますから大変ですよ。
She's dialed on that front. Huh. Have they been giving each other makeup lessons? I mean, I could see it. What a harmonious sibling relationship.
なるほど。けど、俺には似合わない話かな。さくらと遠坂がしてる分には聞いてて華やかだけど。
Yeah, I didn't figure you were the perfume type, bro.
そうですか？男性でもコロンとかちゃんと使うと素敵ですよ。
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Just, I don't know, Shira never seemed the type to worry too much about that to me.
つけたら、セイバーや三つ釣りあたりに男が香水臭いなんてダジャクだと怒られそうだ。
You would definitely get some shit from Mitsuzuri. That definitely seems like, yeah, that seems like her from what little I know of her. Saber? Maybe.
三つ釣り先輩は怒りそうですね。三つ釣り先輩のこと神格化してますから。でも似合うと思いますよ。ライダーもちゃんと専用のにしたいんですけどね。あんまり気を使わないからな。
いろいろ大変だな。しかし
As I sit in Sakura's room, I remember all the members of our household who came up as we were talking.
増えたな。この家も住人が。
I mean, that is very true.
そうですよね。私がこっちにお邪魔するときには賑やかでいいなと思ったんですけど、
No
ここ
kidding.
まで増えるなんて思いませんでした。
They really said every person who's ever lived in this house is gonna live in this house in Hollow Ataraxia. Yeah. Sakura laughs. Right, only she and Fujini know what this house used to be like. It's changed a lot in a short time. I'm not sure whether to be impressed or shocked.
誰か出かけるとあっという間に誰もいなくなる家だったな。ここも。
She nods. Fujini comes and goes, but doesn't live here. Sakura came over to help with breakfast and dinner, but she didn't used to stay over during the day. For a long time, I was the only person who lived here. It didn't make me feel lonely, but now that I look back, that was rather...
そうですね。こんな広いお屋敷に先輩一人なんだって最初は結構びっくりしちゃいました。
I don't think it's exactly typical for him to be like, what, hey, you want to come live with me? So I guess it's just kind of how it goes if you're by yourself, but it's certainly a lot more lively now. It was over 2 years ago. Back then, Sakura was a serious girl who never smiled. She showed up one day with a brooding look and said she wanted to start coming here.
そうだったか？さくらの家も随分と広いけど。
Big Dog, would you want to stay there with Shinji?
いいえ、先輩の家の広さと私の家の広さは違います。マトウの家は初めから人嫌いです。けど、ここの部屋たちはすごく満たされたがっていました。ライダーもこっちの方が落ち着くって喜んでくれましたし、セイバーさんだってきっとそう感じ取っているはずです。
そうなのかな。俺は合宿所みたいになったとか分担するようになって掃除の手間が省けたかなとか思ってたけど。
Yeah, well, more hands to help with the housework means there's more housework that needs to be done. Don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool you. It's I live in a house with 6, right? And man, the amount of dishes we need to do in this household, it's evil. Same with trash. Trash always got to go out every day, you know? Are there more hands to do it? Yes. You have to do it way more often? Also, yes.
昔は大変でしたよね。先輩の家の大掃除。
Sakura smiles, fondly remembering the past. There's still a lot of unused rooms, but before most of them were used for storage. Buildings quickly fall into ruin when people don't live in them. It was quite an undertaking to clean the entire compound.
今年の年末の大掃除は随分楽ができそうだ。
Yeah, I do think that's a fair assessment, though.
ライダーはお掃除得意ですよ。
Is she now?
だから大船に乗ったつもりでドーンと
Medusa's locked in when it comes to cleaning. Sakura looks as proud as if she were talking about herself. Ryder does like keeping things tidy, but her bigger asset would be her strength, I guess.
しかし、
はい。
昔みたいに静かなのが懐かしいと思ったことはないか。
The question slips out. No reason for it. It's just what I'm wondering in the moment.
先輩と二人っきりになれないのはちょっと残念かなって思います。
I bet you do, don't you? She's right. We used to be the only ones in the house before Fujini came over for breakfast, and she often used to wake me up in the shed. Is she saying that she wishes she could be alone with me now? Yes.
そうか。
Yes, that's exactly what she's saying, bro. The realization takes me by surprise. I used to see her as a little sister, but she's matured so much that I have mixed feelings about staying as a brother figure. Bro's heart is pounding. In an attempt to avoid eye contact, my eyes wander over to the bed.
でもですね、先輩。賑やかなのがやっぱりいいです。お料理もたくさん作れますし。
Bro saw the bed. Bro zoomed in on that bed. The heart pounded loud as hell. I know what you are.
そうだな。
It's gotten real awkward real
お
quick.
風呂の順番が大変だったり、お洗濯物が多かったりしますけど、全然平気です。
あ、その辺も全処しよう。二人で。
We both rush to agree with each other. I wonder if Sakura is trying as hard to hide her pounding heart as I am. Yes. Yeah, she definitely is. That's why she's talking about some laundry and taking turns in the bath.
先輩は昔の静かなのが懐かしいんですか？
あ、いや、そうでもないかな。昔は昔で今は今だし、いいところ悪いところは半々だろう。
No, that isn't true. I don't have a single bad thing to say about life right now.
ですね。私ももっと賑やかでもいいかなって。
Let's be careful what we wish for here, Sakura. Let's be careful what we wish for. Things can get real exciting real quick when you've got servants that are feeling the itch to fight each other again.
今度は誰が来るんだ？誰が？
Just you wait. Archer is on the way, bro. Issei? It's hard to imagine him coming all the way down from the mountain. You never know. Even Tosaka's been coming over recently.
イリアちゃんと藤村先生がこっちにお引っ越ししてきませんかね？
イリアは大変そうだ。
Her maids would have to come with her, so we'd have to suddenly accommodate 3 more people. We're almost at capacity as it is. I was about to say. Oh, goodness, what are their names? Lacerit? Something like that. Is it like Stella? Something like that. But the 2 maids, you know, they'd have to come with. Then I lightly slapped my thigh in realization.
しかし、どちらにしてもだ、さくら。
はい。
人数が増えても減っても、我々台所組に対しての期待と責任は大きいからな。
Yeah, okay.
努力しよう。
The kitchen team. I love that. It's time. The number of cooks won't increase, even if the residents do. We actually used to have too many cooks compared to residents.
ええ。やっぱり腕の振るいがいがあります。
They've gotten good at it.
食欲の秋だしな、今は。
そうですね。
I've never heard that saying in my life. Personally.
まだまだ私に教えてくださいね、先輩。
I'm starting to get a little hungry after this chat, and maybe it's about time.
さくら、昼食どうしようか。
台所に行ってから考えましょう。先輩と二人ならどんなお料理もできちゃいますから。
そっか。じゃあ他の昼食メンバーが誰か確かめてくるか。
We stand up and leave Sakura's room together. It's a typical, unremarkable morning. Our warm, uneventful days have been passing in peace and quiet. For now. pretty obvious, but Sakura is definitely still crushing on Shiro. I didn't expect that to not be happening all of a sudden, but goodness gracious. Nothing here. Nothing here. Is it just her? Or something over here? See an exclamation mark? We're staying away. Stay away. I mean, yeah, this game so far, this session has been very different than what I expected. Lots of just like small little slice of life segments, right? I don't dislike it. It's just so different from what I expected, you know? So far. It is cool to actually get to kind of see the map, though, you know? Like, in this form. Kind of get an idea as to where everything is and stuff like that, you know? Like, because you kind of have a general understanding of where things are relative to each other, but getting to see it on a map like this is pretty cool. And like I said, I like the events themselves, so... I guess... yeah, let's head to the park. I don't know how many more of these events I'm going to do, but I'm just going to keep doing them for now. I'll finish my lunch, so maybe I'll try taking a stroll. The #1 leisure spot in the city, Waterfront Park. It's the perfect date spot for couples. Date? Couples? No, it's my precious alone time. I shouldn't think about unnecessary things. I just need to relax. Yeah, you weren't thinking that way in Fate's Stay Night. I'm just saying. Definitely went on a date here. It's a bright and good day for a nap, but it starts getting windy and chilly in the afternoon. The pleasure of being able to waste this valuable time.
Whoa, Emiya! なんたる偶然かな?
What's up? I hear a familiar voice.
三綴サボりか？
何？部活？まるで私が練習の虫みたいな言い方だね。それを言ったら昔のお前の方が私よりよほど真面目だったじゃないか。
I can believe that Shiro would have been way more serious.
だから、その俺に負けじと頑張ってたのが三綴お前じゃないか。
Maybe she needed someone to be serious. Was I that passionate? I was so busy with my part-time job and housework that my impression of the archery range is faint, to be honest.
だっけ？今の主力メンバーでも私とエミヤ以上に場に出てくるやつっていなかったぞ。エミヤはバイトもしてるし、どうしてか生徒会も手伝ってるし、一体全体いつ遊んでるんだろうって。
三綴だって似たようなものだろ。
オンとオフはきっちりつけるんだ、私は。人様に見えないところでいろいろリフレッシュしてんの。
Fair enough.
俺だって勉強、バイト、余暇の区別はつけてる。
His free time is very much separate.
どうだか？エミヤはオンオフっていうか、オンオンオン？
Yeah, okay, no, I'll give you that, actually. It kind of is, in Fate's Stay Night, at least. I was about to say, like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, he's got the whole, like, Holy Grail War business. I'm like, yeah, wait, no, that would categorize more as work? Mitsuzuri laughs in a refreshing manner. People say to keep a good work-life balance, but in actuality, I don't really know how. Resting is also part of work.
なんて思っていたわけですが、
You know you're too far gone when
最
you
近
think
人
that
が
way.
変わったかのように遊んでいるエミヤは、今日はデートか何か？待ち合わせ？ん？
Nope. Just as I was thinking she's unnecessarily sharp, she says that. Going on a date? Well, I can't say that I don't go on them.
待ってくれ。その言い方だと俺がシンジみたいに聞こえないか？
Yeah, let's stop that comparison.
あいつは遊びすぎ。まあ、エミヤにも少しはシンジっぽいところもあれば、こっちの気も楽なんだけどね。
The difference between being disgusted and relieved is subtle. Well, she's also by herself even while saying that, too.
じゃあ、三綴はデートの待ち合わせ中なわけだ。
私が？誰と？どこで？
そこで少しは相手がいるのじゃよ とか強がってみるとか、そういう可愛い対応はないのか？
Still got that dare with or that bet with Tosaka.
なんだよエミヤ、昔ならそこでそうかってサバサバしてたのにな。今じゃホワホワしてデート向けの女の子が大好きですラブラブって感じなのか？
Bro, her voice actor is actually pretty funny.
語弊があるぞ。とにかく、だったら三綴も今一人きりか？
Why did Shiro sound so traumatized when he said that's not what I meant?
お互い様。でも、へえ。
Mitsuzuri nods repeatedly. As though eventually convinced, she claps her hands together.
よし、これもご縁だ。遠坂の代わりに付き合え。
Word? She's just trying to win the bet, I know it.
俺がお前とお付き合い？
買い物のお供ぐらいしろってことだ。ま、エミヤと一緒なんてめったにないからな。時にはこういうトンチキなお供でも悪くないだろう。
Yeah, I can't say you're someone we really saw too much of in Fate's Stay Night. I'd say she was the most prominent of the school side characters. But she still was not, like... She still was not exactly someone with a ton of screen time. What came back in response to my murmur is a rather manly reply. In fact, I feel like Issei has more feminine euphemisms. That's crazy. Bro said Issei is more feminine. As I'm convinced about that, Mitsuzuri pouts in dissatisfaction.
なんだい、私じゃ不満かい？
誰もそんなこと言ってないぞ。
そうだよな。いつもお相手がマトウに遠坂にセーバーさんだもんな。私じゃお役に足りないってことか。贅沢すぎるぞエミヤは。その辺認識ある？君の瞳に惨敗。
She's actually kind of fun. She's kind of similar to, you know, Rin in the sense that she's definitely... I don't want to say rude. Like, she's like definitely kind of makes fun, a little bit of teasing. Find it funny. She said, you got too many choices.
綺麗どころがご所望ならライダーを紹介するが。
He said, oh, I got another. She shuts up as I mention her weak subject. How do I say this? It's more like Ryder wants to rent Mitsuzuri. What? What? What is going on between those two? What in the world?
いいよ別に。だいたいライダーさんはエミヤのじゃなくてマトウの付き添いじゃないか。
さくらだって2つ返事で承認のはずだ。いや、貸した借りたじゃなくて、今日はどうするんだ？付き合うってどこへ？
Yeah, she's like, that's where I draw the line. That's actually kind of funny seeing her, like, react that way. The conversation seems to be going in a weird direction, so I turn the steering wheel with force, or rather, turn it back.
よしよし。まあなんだ。飯は食っただろうからお茶でも付き合いなさい。その後は CD 屋で新婦さらってゲーセンな。
Sure, why not?
それはあれか。俺がゲーム遊戯施設のピコポコした雰囲気が増えてと知ってのお誘いか？
Of those game-playing facilities. I can only play games like Shogi or Tycoon, as I'm vaguely filled with anxiety. Mitsuzuri sighs.
もう、まったく遠坂といいエミヤといいこのご時世にありえないアナクロちゃんだな。
いや、遠坂のアナクロぶりには遠く及ばないぞ、俺。
I attempt to object. Can I exchange my practical skills of fixing a machine that's broken down to screws Can I exchange my practical skills of fixing a machine that's broken down to screws with using electrical appliances on a daily basis?
そういうことは携帯電話くらい持ってから言いなさいって。まあ メール打ってるエミヤの姿も想像できないけどな。
Yeah, isn't it like 2004? Like, I don't remember the exact year, but bro could have a cell phone. Very true.
やっぱり持たなきゃいけないのかな、携帯。
Who is
猫さんには会うたび言われたりするけど。
Miss Neko? Mitsuzuri looks at me in confusion hearing Miss Neko.
バイト先の人。藤姉の大昔のクラスメート。
Ah. Yeah, that makes more sense.
ああ、あのコペンハーゲンのお姉さん。そうだよ、バイトならシフトの連絡とかで必要だろ。
俺の場合、仕事以外のいろいろヘルプ用っぽいけど。
So, maybe I shouldn't get one after all.
まあそれこそエミヤの勝手っつうかプライベートだけど、時間の問題じゃないか、きっと。
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Mitsuzuri laughs. She really laughs like she's having fun, so...
そのあたりもエミヤに指南してやらなきゃな。授業にはちゃんと遠坂も連れてこいよ。
She's gonna give him a texting lesson.
逃げるぞ、あいつは。
If the teacher, Mitsuzuri, looks at Tosaka all smug, I bet she'll be muttering from start to finish, overcome with defeat.
そっか、先にエミヤとセイバーさんに教え込んでから、できないのはあんただけよって言った方が。
She's scheming. She's like, how do I do this? How do I do this? It might be more efficient this way. Mitsuzuri is nodding while smirking as she thinks of a brainwashing plan. Nevertheless, she's going up against that stubborn Tosaka. Good luck. I wouldn't be able to.
まあさておき、とりあえずはエミヤとゲーセンだな。体感系ならいい勝負ができるだろ。うん。
Oh yeah, that's what she was saying. Hands-on. Even if I were to go to the arcade with Mitsuzuri, the only ones I'd be able to play are...
あの拳銃のやつとかか？
いいな。エミヤならそういうの得意そうだし、意外にコンティニューに頼らなくて済むかな。
Bro might be nice at those random, like, zombie arcade games. With
とりあえず
the
駅前
guns.
に移動な。お茶くらいはおごるからさ。
He might be nice.
いや、頼むから割り勘で。
I follow Mitsuzuri, who starts walking. Isn't this a date after all? I think that to myself, but maybe it's better left unsaid. It probably
ほ
is.
らエミヤ、ぼーっとするな。私は男とゲーセン行くの初めてなんだから。そうだ、パンチ力測ろうよ、パンチ力。
I know he's gonna have a comment on that. Also, what the hell is up with her pants? Why does she have zipper pockets on the thighs? Not on the sides, just right on the front of her thighs. That's just so strange to me. Okay. Sure. I've never seen that. I'm sure it's a thing somewhere. It just looks goofy as hell to me. I've never seen it. Let's measure our punch strength. Mitsuzuri hurries me, as if she's having too much fun. This is far from a date. Ressa, this is just like hanging out with one of the guys. Let's see, why is that text getting more red? It's past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? We're just gonna keep investigating the town at night till we've gotten everything done, I guess. All clear 3. Well, I wonder what these two are gonna be, guys. What are we thinking? All clear 1 and 2, maybe? I don't know. Guess let's go to the south neighborhood. Presumably you get all clear, I'm guessing 2. But one of the two. Nothing out of the ordinary here. As usual. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here, bro. Literally the souls of the damned in the background. What is that sound effect? What is that supposed to be? As usual, the neighborhoods here feel hardly lived in. I can't hear any screams nearby, nor any distant animal howls. Yeah, if you ignore the scream we just heard, maybe it's one of those things where, I don't know, it's like his mental image of like, I didn't hear anything like that. But like, it's just so strange. The town looks brighter than usual, perhaps thanks to the white moonlight.
異常なし。次行ってみるか。
I leave the European-style neighborhoods behind. Once I do, I spot a flash of red in the corner of my eye. Two freshly painted mailboxes. Dude. I mean... what's going on? Like, it feels like they're trying to make it look like he's just missing the obvious to me. Right? Like, I don't know if they're not. Some of the visuals and audios like they're using are kind of weird to me, right? Like, I don't hear any screams, then you just hear a screech, right? Right? They show the blood splatter, and they're like, huh, 2 painted mailboxes. Huh. Okay. Right? And I'm like, I don't know if they just don't have a better visual for that, or... right? Or if it's meant to be like... he briefly thinks that's what's going on when he sees the red. He's like, blood? And then he's like, oh, it's just a mailbox. Or if he's just... I don't know. If he's just overlooking everything somehow and treating everything as normal, even though it's not. I don't know. So there's something at the Rito Temple. Caster. That's kind of interesting. But, I mean, I see Ilya, so I'm probably just gonna go see what's up with Ilya, right? Yeah, we'll probably go over there. Like, I mean, like, this is an option, but come on. Bringing out the characters I already know I like a lot first, right? Because I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for more content. After a long trek, I finally arrive at the forest outside of town. It should take me about 2 more hours from here to reach the Einsburn Castle. I'm starting to become familiar with that place. Something tremendous is blocking the entrance to the forest. Hey bro, what's good? So, Hercules is still kicking, I see.
もしもし、ここで何をしてるのか聞いていいかな?
Are you able to communicate with him? No, that hasn't changed. Okay. He doesn't answer. I can't even tell if that's a yes or a no.
門番なのかな。森に入りたいんだけど、いいかな。イリアに用があるんだけど。
We're just gonna be staring at Herc's chest the whole time? He doesn't answer. He doesn't even grunt or shake his head. I mean, he's definitely growling. If he isn't saying anything, that means I can go ahead, right? We've seen each other before, so Berserker probably knows who I am.
よし。それじゃあ、ちょっと通りますよ。
I raise a hand and walk past him. Brother, that's your sign to turn around. The monster... Shiro screeching like that is crazy. The monster... I mean, if I pissed off that behemoth, I'm sure I would sound the same way. But, the monster roars. The sheer force of his voice declaring that he'll hurl me back into Miyama if I take another step.
ダメですか？今日は帰れと言いたいのでしょうか?
Yeah, the way I'd be out of there, yeah, I'm gone, bro. The greater Berserker starts to rage even more. I have no idea what he's trying to say. Someone please interpret.
物分かりの悪いお客様ね。約束もないのにレディの家に行こうだなんて追い返されて当然でしょ。って誰かと思えばシロは
Whole tone changed when she realized who it was.
イリア。
そうだよ。こんにちはお兄ちゃん。ここで会うのは珍しいね。
Ilya waves cheerfully at me, but she doesn't step out of the forest for some reason.
おい、イリア、ちょっと城に行きたいんで、バーサーカーにどいてくれって言ってくれないか。
そっか。シロ、私に会いに来たんじゃなくて、お城に行きたいんだ。
Got him. Caught in his own words.
それじゃあダメ。当家は第2条建設中につき、しばらく来訪をお断りしています。女の子の気持ちがわからないシロは、おとなしく町に帰ってください。
Bye, waves Ilya. just barely seeing her arm from behind Hercules, bro. What the fuck? I really love the sprite work in this game. It feels like a lot more fluid. I mean, it very well might just be because of the remaster. I don't know if the original does a lot of fun stuff like this, but even if I try to stop her, an impassable wall of muscle blocks my path.
いや、待った。城に行きたいってのとイリアに会いたいってのは同義だと思う。
I stick to the facts. Even I know how to consider a girl's feelings.
シロにしては上出来だけど、やっぱりダメ。だってお城には何もないもの。シロが来てもいいことなんてないし、聖杯戦争の手がかりもない。
Again, I don't really think that was the point, you know? It wasn't necessarily about the castle. He just figured that was the natural place to hang out with you.
うちを調べるぐらいなら、街を歩き回ってた方が建設的よ。
そんなことない。イリアの城は面白い。
It's incredible inside. I can always see Ilya there, and Sella and Lays are there too. We just like shortening her name, or is that just the translation? Shortening it, right? Like, she just like familiar enough that he's not saying it. It's not Stella, it's Sella. Is this like a translation difference, or is this what the names were? I'm actually kind of curious. For some reason, I really like I'm curious if he's just shortening it because he's gotten familiar or what. Or if it's just the translation. I really don't know. There might even be clues about the Holy Grail board there, if I look. Ilya's a master, too. Even if there's nothing in her castle, Ilya could be in some trouble.
もう考えてること丸分かりなんだから。
Yeah, now you're thinking exactly what she said, like, you're not gonna find anything there.
シロにはあんまり来てほしくないんだけど、ここで断っても懲りずに何度もやってくるだろうしな。いいわ。どうしてもっていうなら考えてあげる。
Oh, why thank you.
どうせ追い返してもやってくるんだものね。それならそれで、ちょっと変わった出し物を用意してあげましょう。
I don't know if I want to know what that welcoming party is. Her somber expression suddenly changes into a bewitching grin. That's the face of an imp plotting some exceptional mischief.
おい、イリア。なんかよからぬアイデアひらめいてないか？
No, she would never, dude. I think it's admirable of her to welcome a guest. No need to get bogged down in the details.
そうね。そうと決まれば急いで準備しなくっちゃ。森を開いて絶壁を作ってちゃんと出迎えの戦車も用意してっと。そうそう、セラとリズにも出番をあげなくっちゃ。主人失格よね。
Okay, so it's got to be translation, right? Like, that is not the full name that I remember seeing used in Fate Stay Night. Like, wasn't it Lace Rit? Like, wasn't there more to this? Like, I don't think she would be shortening it too. Am I just misremembering? I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little curious. I guess anyone let me know? Like, what do they use in Fate Stay Night, right? I think they've said the name in passing where I'm at in the replay, but we haven't, like, seen them. And I didn't think at least that was the name there. Stella might be correct. For some reason, I really thought it was, like, Stella, but, like, that might just be one of those things where, like, I don't know, I might just be injecting a letter where it doesn't belong. But I feel like half of this name is missing. I don't know. Am I tripping? She isn't listening. I can hear Ilya's magic circuits whirring at maximum rotation. From what I've heard, Ilya's magecraft can skip over theory and produce concrete results. Maybe it's because she's a miniature Holy Grail. Whatever Ilya wants to do or wishes for will come true as long as it's within the limits of her magical energy, whether she knows the specific method to accomplish it or not, or so I'm told.
やっぱり海峡は必要よね。あれなくして何が城攻めかって感じ。
That's true. It's not really storming a castle if you're not crossing a moat.
迷路は、私の魔力量じゃそこまでは無理っぽいな。
Man, no Minotaur maze? Something that can't be undone is unfolding at a frenetic pace before my eyes. She's using the wish-granting power of the Holy Grail for the silliest reasons.
なあ、イリア。俺、城に行きたいだけなんだけど。
準備ができたら喜んで招待してあげるわ。その時まで束の間の平和を謳歌してなさい。覚悟してね、お兄ちゃん。完成の暁にはこれでもかっていうぐらいキリキリ前にしてあげるんだから。
And she's gone. Ilya disappears into the mist, leaving me with a death sentence.
なんか雲行きが怪しくなってきた。
It's starting to sound like I'll have to endure some terrifying trials to even reach the Einsburn castle. The giant stands there silently. Somehow, I sense that he's encouraging me with a "don't lose heart, lad." I was about to say, even Berserker's about to be like, "Dang, bro. It's rough out there. You got this." I guess there's still some little bit of Hercules there. At the Ryudo Temple, and we got the school as options. At the school, we got Issei, and we have someone unknown. Let's go back into town. Who's at the Ryudo Temple then? Unknown. Okay. Nice. Let's see the unknown here. I'm a little curious. Music in this game is a little funky. Like, it definitely slice of lifey, for sure, you know? Which makes sense, given that a lot of this game so far has been just kind of slice of life, chill stuff. I mean, it's also because I'm, like, somewhat actively avoiding the serious stuff, but it's all been pretty chill so far. Which is interesting. Like, this is not necessarily how I would have expected this game to be. But, I mean, it seems there is a main plot that we'll that we'll see, but, you know, a lot of just chill and fun, you know? Not a problem. Just wasn't sure I totally expected that. I kind of knew going in that it had these elements, you know? Like, I think I'd gotten that general understanding, but still interesting. I finish my lunch and walk around the school in the afternoon. It's a weekend, but there are figures here and there in the hallway. It must be the students working hard at their club activities. There's no doubt the other building where the music room or the art room is more lively. I don't know why that sentence seemed so weird to me. I mean, who are we going to run into? I look back for some reason. There's nothing in particular that catches my eye. What's strange is that there was no reason at all to look back. I suddenly feel like drinking tea, so I head to the student council room. When I peer into the classroom from the hallway, I see some students. The hallway isn't completely silent. Behind me is just quiet. As I'm walking, I hear people's voices ahead of me, but the hallway when I look back behind me is quiet, like it exists in a different world. It feels like someone's trailing him. There's nothing in particular that catches my eye. There's no reason to look behind me. It would make sense if I had some reason, like having the chills, but just looking ambiguously behind me is eerie. They say that scary noises are trending, but depending on how you see it, wouldn't this be considered a scary story too? A mystery where things behind me bother me for no reason.
この時期の学校らしいといえばらしいのか。
Yeah, if only I'd ever read a scary story that, as a mystery where something's behind you, behind you bothers you, and there's nothing there. I feel like I've definitely read some stories like that. Exams are near, and there are a lot of students that are mentally sensitive. There are a lot of things to think about during these 4 days, and I might just be tired without realizing it.
そうだな。おとなしく帰って休もう。
I can go to the student council room another time. I walk through the hallway. I restrain myself from wanting to look back many times and leave school. Interesting. I feel like there really wasn't much to that one. I wonder if there was, like, what was going on with that? Because I feel like we've done more than one event now where it's kind of like a little, not like grayed out, but there's not like a person that we can see, right? When we click it. And it feels like most of the time they're just there, if that makes sense. Maybe it's like you need to progress the plot further before you can do those events. I don't really know how the events are tied together. But maybe they're like, it's like a character we haven't met yet, so they won't let us like interact with them, and so someone is following him, he just doesn't realize it, or something like that. I don't know. Past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? Whoa, okay. Now we've got to investigate the town at night. Okay, we'll do this. By myself. The moment I decide to step outside, I feel unwell. Oh yeah, what's happening? I'm really curious to see where this leads, because we've been slowly like filling in like the town investigations at night. So I wonder if it has something to do with that. Like now that we were on the last one, or I don't know, like I said, there's been a lot of things that seemed like oddities that he just wasn't pointing out, so maybe like those are he's gonna finally notice them this time. I don't know. I'm curious what direction this is gonna go, because truly, so far, this game has not gone the direction that I would have expected, with how kind of freeform things are and how you have the choice between different events, right, and stuff like that. And it hasn't just been like super linear. So truly, I don't know what to expect, honestly. So I'm intrigued. So let's keep moving forward. The moment I decide to step outside, I feel unwell. Is it a gut feeling or familiar terror? I know it's time to leave, but I feel a little timid.
さて、街の様子を見に行かないと。
I get up and reach for the sliding door. Just before I depart, I take one look back at my room and engrave its sight into my memory. I think he's never going to see it again. The night is frigid. As soon as I step outside, I feel as if I've been thrust into a different world. The only part of it that feels real is the Emiya house, while the rest of Fuyuki flickers like a mirage. Disappear, disappear, disappear. I can hear bestial panting through the mist. There's no sign of anyone in town. I don't know who's responsible for the situation, but they've finally shown their true colors. Kill you, kill you, kill you.
人がいない。これじゃ本当に。
A world where everything's died. All I see are ruined houses, broken doors, smashed windows, bloodied gardens, and when I look inside, I see the remains of utter butchery. Everything's wrong. What's especially off is how there isn't a single dismembered hunk of flesh or dead person in sight. Still, it's crystal clear what happened here. What is going on? Unknown emotions irritate my brain. An exquisite balance of rage and disgust fills my mind. You need to go get Saber, first of all. But my first thought is it's Bazette's servant, whoever it is. I despise a mass murderer I've yet to lay eyes on. Can't see, I can't see anything anymore. That's a good question. I follow the echoing rasps. The howls are a voiceless voice directed at me. Animosity and appeal are directed at me from all sides. Enmity and envy. I feel so revolted, I want to vomit. I hate/envy you. I hate/envy you. I hate/envy you. I hate/envy you. What the hell? What is going on? Yeah, all over the bridge. Howls turn into roars. Okay, so it is that same servant we saw. But what is this thing? Right, like... I don't know. For some reason, my first thought... Like, I don't even know, like, much about it, but, like... I think of something like Fenrir, which is, like... just like a... mythological wolf, right? Like, I thought for some reason I associate it with, like... kind of a shadowy figure, but I don't know if that's accurate. Like, that's kind of like my thought when I see this, but like, I don't know if that makes sense. As much as I want to deny it, the thing that's howling is right in front of me. I've seen this somewhere before, but I can't recall where right now. Just a little longer, or once midnight passes, I'll remember if someone tells me. It creaks and howls. It's in a frequency outside of audible range. The thing howls in a voice no human can hear. Do you only want to save yourself? That's wildly unlike Shiro, no? The beast rears its head. It looks at me and charges with a shrieking rake of its claws. I leap backwards out of the way. The beast wildly swipes at me. If those guillotine-like claws get me, I'm finished. But this isn't my first rodeo. Compared to sparring with Saber, this is child's play. It has little chance of hitting me, but the beast keeps attacking obsessively. With each attack, the swings become fiercer, and it seems like there's no end to them. Only you, only you, only you. It spits its words, voice darkening by the moment. I counterattack on reflex, even though I could have kept evading it no problem. I sidestep the beast's claws and kick its exposed belly with full force. It isn't much of a threat after all. I mean, I do remember them saying it was really weak for a servant, but also that, like, there was no human that could best it. The unknown beast writhes on all fours, unable to get up. And... That can't be possible. Most people would be helpless to defend themselves against this thing, yes. But there's only so much it can do. It wouldn't be possible for this thing to depopulate the entire town in the span of an hour. Rant. Just as I'm about to say who you are, I realize that it's smothering everything around me. What the hell is happening in this game right now? I'm very intrigued. Myriad malign voices moan in unison, and we get that dizzy feeling again. A swarm of beasts has overrun the park. Damn it, if there's this many of them, it would take them 20 minutes to clean out the entire town, never mind an hour. The snarling tsunami rushes in at me. It evokes an image of a corpse overrun by ants, or a dead man dropped onto the Buddhist hell of a mountain of needles. Those claws will tear me to ribbons. They'll skewer every inch of my body, from my skull to my eyeballs. I press my hands together in prayer. There's nothing left I can do now. Our wish. Grant our wish. Also, I don't know that I'd say there's nothing you can do. You do still have a command seal. Like, you could bring Saber to you. But the town is done for, I suppose, so... shut up! If you're gonna kill me, just do it already. You just keep flailing around like an idiot. If you've got something to say, say it!
わかりませんか? 彼らは願いを叶えろと言
Now, who is that? We did make out that much. I reflexively look up at... the sound of a beautiful silver voice. In the midst of a savage sea that threatens to bury the world, stands a primordial figure.
What?
I know her. I know this woman. But that isn't for another hour from now. What? What the hell does, what does he mean? But that isn't for another hour from now. I feel vexed. It doesn't line up. Everything's shut off, even though everything's in place.
でもあなたは失敗した。まだここに来るのは早かったよね。
The horde of beasts closes in. Inescapable death approaches. Though, even if I did run, it wouldn't change my fate.
消え去りなさい、罪人。あなたにはもうどこにも居場所はない。
The girl utters a final notice, like a prayer. She closes her eyes. Overjoyed, the chorus of beasts pulls Shiro Emiya's body apart. Huh. I don't know if that's in the CD gallery. Oh, wow. And so the proliferation of wickedness continues. The night of October 11th, Fuyuki City has come to its end under a mountain of corpses. Bad end, restart. Heaven's Feel 5 end, exit Heaven's Feel 5. End of 4 nights. Acquire the End of 4 Nights flag. Well, they sent me back to the main menu, so I guess that's a good stopping point for the video. Okay. So, I'm still struggling to kind of figure out what to make of all of this, right? So, I mean, like, 90% of this episode was slice of life, but there were gradual indications that something is wrong, right? The red text, right? The random screams in the background, right? That feeling that the Holy Grail War is continuing, right? You have all of that. And then slowly it leads to October 11th, where I suppose Shiro is... There's some big thing going on that day, right? There's all of these creatures that are destroying the town, right? And I guess you got to get some specific plot flags to really move forward, which is interesting. I guess that might be the setup of the game, is that little 4-day loop, maybe? Like, that's the typical, like, gameplay loop. Because I assume it's a loop. That's my only assumption. That's why they main menued me, right? Is that I'm supposed to do that again. Or maybe it's not necessarily a loop, but it would explain why they have events that you can't do, right? Like you can't do all of them, right? Like, I have 2 events at the same time, and they're not both there the next day, right? You're intended to do those same days again. I wonder if even that's what the entrance means, right? Like, it's the start. Like, if you need to go back to the start for some reason. But so we might be starting to see what this game is going to be, and that's interesting. It's definitely intriguing. I couldn't even begin to tell you really what's going on. I assume that essentially, in a way, that 5th Holy Grail War is going on without us even realizing. But that doesn't make a ton of sense to me either, right? Like, again, like, I don't know, unless there's 2-3 sabers here at the same time, right? Like, how could a second Grail War like that be happening behind us, like, without us knowing? It would certainly be a little interesting, if there's, like, another Grail War, and so the servants that are already there are, like, I don't know, like, feeling that it started, but, like, again, they claim that like, Bazette claims that this is the 5th Grail War that they're in, so I don't think that it's, like, secretly a 6th. Like, that doesn't... I don't know. I really don't know. God damn it. And I especially can't let that play, because they tried to copyright strike it last time, so I had to remove that whole section, so I really need to... God, and they sent me the main menu after it's done, so I'm really just gonna have to sit here and move my mouse in a circle as I think about things, I guess. Right, it's a little annoying. Okay, but this episode, like, the setup that we're seeing is super interesting. Like, whatever this destruction of Fuyuki City is, we have 4 days, I guess, to stop it? Or to get on the path to stop it. And I'm guessing this is just going to be like a time loop, just kind of keep repeating till we figure it out. Where does Bazette come in, right? Who is Bazette's servant? I'm like, I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are not explained yet and that we'll see. It's just crazy. This whole episode, essentially, was slice of life, which was fun, right? Like a lot of the slice of life scenes were fun, right? We got to kind of see, you know, Sakura still crushing on Shiro. We got to see, like, Lancer and his perspective on, I guess, friends and enemies, you know, which his perspective is kind of interesting. Like, that if someone's his enemy, he doesn't necessarily have to hate him. It's kind of interesting because since playing Fate, I've read a little bit more of his own, like lore, right? Like, real life lore. And I guess the thing that really stood out to me is that he was cursed. Oh goodness, I don't remember the exact explanation, but essentially he had a kid with someone who somehow made that kid probably swear a Geass to never say that he was Kukalan's kid, right? And so one day they fight to the death, and then he realizes it. So in a way, it almost even ties into his myth, right? This idea that he doesn't think someone has to be, like, he can like someone and then be opponents, right? He doesn't have to hate them, right? I mean, unknowingly, he did that to his own kid. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if that was intentional. I'm gonna lean towards it might be, but you know, I mean, lots of fun moments. We got to see a little bit more of Mitsuzuri, and she was actually pretty fun. I kind of like hanging out with her. she's definitely kind of a breath of fresh air. Nice, that's what I was about to say. A breath of fresh air. As not a new character, but a somewhat new character. To have, like, she's got already it seems like she has a slightly bigger role. Even if it's just those side events, I feel like she hardly shows up outside of the prologue of Fate's Stay Night. Not to say that she doesn't, and she even is involved in a plot beat or two. Like, obviously not as a participant of the war, but as like a victim of it. But like, that's to say that she's not a super core, right? And so it's interesting to see her a little more, get to know her a bit better, and like, I don't know, I enjoyed all of those slice of life scenes. They were good fun. There wasn't a ton to say in most of them. They were just kind of what they were, but I enjoyed them. And then right at the end, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, shadowy creatures have destroyed the entire city. They're now tearing Shiro apart. This new character that we don't know, who, I mean, their outfit certainly makes me think Magus. It certainly makes me think Magus. I wonder if we can see it in the gallery. Yeah, right here. Definitely makes me think Magus. She shows up and is basically like, yep, you weren't ready. It's unfortunate. I pray for you. You're dead. Right, that's it. Like, who is this mysterious figure? I don't know. And then the same can be asked of who the hell are these, right? Because if we're seeing whoever this is, right? It makes me like when you look at them, they look like carbon copies of Rin and Sakura with obviously design differences. Like, that's what I think it's meant to evoke that. But I mean, they're the Edelfelts, right? And I'm gonna assume they are not actually Rin and Sakura, right? And that they just look very similar. But they kind of evoke that, like, they definitely don't have like the same designs, but similar enough. And then it also, like, Ilya in there too, right? Like, thinking of all of those, like, kind of give off those same vibes, right? Of, you know, like, that to me is like being a Magus. Still love the way she was, like, just so ready to throw hands. I'm sorry, that's so off topic, but kind of love that. Yeah, I mean, like, really the question is still, like, what the hell is this thing? Seems there's still CGs to be unlocked there. What the hell is this? What's going on that is leading to this? I assume that whole part is tied into Bazette's story, and eventually those worlds will kind of collide. I don't know, unless we just never see them again, which I don't assume is what's going to happen. I'm kind of assuming that when their memory was super foggy on who they were, it was kind of like Shiro. Like, every now and then his vision got foggy, and it seemed really bad that first day. And so I kind of really think, like, it's another, like, okay, time loopy thing. He's here. But there were even times where Shiro's like, I don't know her for another hour, right? I'm like, it seems to me like they are remembering a time loop. Like incidentally, like, don't even realize it, you know? Though. I don't even know what these are. So I am super interested to see where this goes from here, but I suppose really we can kind of wrap it up here. I mean, I guess I'll look at what these are. This is just kind of cool art they decided to throw in. That's some cool art. It seems like there's a lot more to be unlocked, too. I don't know what this another tab is. It's something. Nope, can't watch that. They'd kill me if I tried. We got some of the music here, if I ever want to check that out. That's interesting. Okay, so I can review the scenes, too, should I want to. Sticky 2. Very interesting. Like I said, I've said this a million times now. I'm really enjoying the setup. I'm really curious to see how this game is going to play out. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely getting. I'm definitely sold. I'm definitely sold on the game. I'm excited to play this more. But that's going to be all we have time for today. I probably spent longer on this outro than I really even needed to. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. I've enjoyed playing today. I'm looking forward to playing again. I'm not even going to bother trying to say when I'm going to play the game again, because I never keep my promises anyways. So, or like whatever schedule I said, it never happens anyways. The next episode will be out when I feel like recording. Which, this game's got me intrigued, right? With these slice of life sections into serious stuff. I'm like, it's a good loop, right? It works. Like the core of it, right? I don't know how long that loop's gonna stay. I don't even know if it really is a loop. I assume it's a loop. Like, I mean gameplay loop, not time loop. It seems very likely it's a time loop. I mean gameplay loop. I don't know if it's gonna move forward instead. I don't even know what's gonna happen when I hit that start button. Right? I really don't know. And I'm super interested to see, so I wouldn't be shocked if I'm playing again tomorrow, but also I can't guarantee that. But whenever the next episode does come out, I hope to see all of you guys there. If you guys have any feedback in the meantime, always feel free to let me know, especially early on. Just if you've got anything that you think I could be doing better, anything that you think is working. Like I said, any technical details. I know I said this last time, but it's still true, especially while we're early on. Probably the last time I bring that up, hopefully. But that'll be it for this episode. Whenever the next episode comes out, I hope you guys are looking forward to it just as much as I am. But until then, peace.